Welcome, one and all, to another phantasmic, orgasmic edition of No Bucks Given, of course, right here on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/Horny Goat, and of course, the Horny Goat Podcasting Network. It's the roundtable podcasting with a bunch of friends that, well, we talk about all sorts of shenanigans, and our love of Orange Goblins. You guys know me, I'm Connor. I'm the host of this show. You guys know me, I'm your host, Connor. Of course, I've got with us the entire wonderful Horny Goat crew. First and foremost, we've got with us the power couple of the Horny Goat. We got JP and Heather. What's going on, guys?
Peach lives matter, motherfucker.
You guys are enjoying it?
Tired,
you guys enjoying it?
Very tired. I had to work today. I think my life choices as a job. I need to rethink.
Always good to have options.
I wanted to punch several people in the throat today.
That's nice.
So how you doing, Heather? Being in close proximity of Pro Puncher.
I got to sit at home here in the hotel room and be bored off my ass watching Career Conference for Mary Kay. So
Yay!
You guys saw. I gave you guys a little sneak peek into what that's like.
Well, hopefully this will be this. I think even just before we got the show started, I think it's probably more entertaining than those sessions that with.
Oh my god!
Of course, we got the wonderful Gina with us. What's up, Gina?
What's up, guys?
How are you?
I'm good. Green Lives Matter. I'll just say that real quick. Listen, JP's gonna fucking hate me by the end of the night because I'm continuing this shit. I wasn't even here for last night, but you know.
I wish I wasn't here for it either.
I was, but I wasn't.
That's the spirit.
I'm here for it every night.
We got the fantastic Rayshawn with us. How you feeling, Rayshawn?
Doing okay. Please forgive Gina. She do not know what she's talking about.
You don't know. He doesn't speak for me.
Green lives do not matter.
Green lives do not matter. Peach lives matter.
Pizza lives matter. Tacos lives matter. JP, taco lives matter.
Orange Goblins.
Tacos definitely don't matter.
Orange Goblins matter. And last but not least, everyone's favorite bear from upstairs. Canadian Basement. What's up, Basement?
I left you a present in the live chat or live stream.
What?
Oh no!
On the screen, he has a special picture for us.
I fucking hate you. I just noticed it.
I win.
So we need to. Okay, first and foremost, you can catch us obviously on the YouTube channel here, and also your favorite podcasting platforms. So there's a little bit of a fun thing going on right now. I don't even know how the fuck this started, but I think Basement just had one of those random thoughts on our stream a couple days ago, or last night about how all goblins are green, and they're not.
They might be. Maybe the ones that are different colors just color the bodies, paint their bodies.
Listen, no, but they're not goblins. They're a different color, then they're not a fucking goblin.
Okay, well, what are you talking about? I could paint my body a different color and still be considered.
That's like saying I see a gray bird, but because it's blue, it's not a bird no more. What?
No, but it's still a green goblin. It's just a painted green goblin to be orange.
That's true.
I don't understand.
This is one of those stupid debates that we're just gonna hammer into the ground for at least a week. So we've been having fun in the chat because both me and Basement were having access, so we're literally commenting as Horny Goat. At the same time, we're having an internal conflict with each other. It's just fucking absurd. So. Yeah.
I do want to add that we had a bad case of the giggles with everybody on the fucking call before we started the show, so it's gonna be a good night.
It's gonna be great.
And I'm drinking.
Oh my god.
So...
even better. But aside from us being on the opposite side of goblin fences, how's everyone's week been?
Up and down.
Pretty good. I got to see a lot of babies today.
Was the same yesterday, the same day before.
What did you mean, Basement? You got to see a lot of babies. I'm afraid to ask that question.
I got to see a lot of babies.
Did you jack off again?
What? No, ew.
Probably.
What's up, Jordan?
I got to hold babies. It was great. Babies are the best.
Why do you get to hold all the babies and I don't get to hold any babies? This isn't fair.
Everybody trusts me with their children.
Even though you're clearly wrong on the goblin side of the fence.
No, they all support green.
Yeah.
Go green or go home. Okay.
Oh, we have to educate them wrong. So we got everybody joining us in the chat. What's up, Alpha? What is up, Jurgen? I think I saw Tim in the area. Frederico, what's up, Frederico? Thank you all for coming in and checking things out. If you guys haven't checked out a lot of the slew of content, most of it WWE 2K22 related, which those things blew the fuck up. I was not anticipating those things to be as popular as they were, but hey, fuck it. We're going to have some more fun with 2K22 with our champions. If you like the absurdity of us talking about goblins, you need to go check out some of the 2K22 content because, dear God, there is some crazy, just trust me and go watch it. There's some very fun, especially the one with like Deadpool, Shrek, and fucking Elvira on the thumbnail. Go check it out. It's some good stuff. But yeah, this week's been very very interesting. Just on a personal note, real fast, I had to go see the dentist recently because of the fun, destruction on my teeth, and so they said, oh, you should probably invest in a water pick to clean and help get better. So obviously it's sensitive, everything's like hurting, and it's not too bad, but I'm like, I wonder what would happen if I put the water pick on the chipped tooth and turned it on.
Oh no, Connor, why would you do that?
Oh, it's gonna clean it. It's fine. I haven't felt any pain whatsoever.
Yeah.
I almost fell down. I was like, oh my God.
Food pains are the worst, man.
Oh, I'm not looking forward to I know, right?
I honestly, I do not envy Rayshawn right now, because for me, I've been through all kinds of pain, labor, everything else from in between. Surgery, I will legitimately take a neck surgery any day over fucking tooth pain.
Well, I've got that looking forward to, because they said they're going to extract this one and they're going to put in titanium tooth. So I'll probably be all drugged up. And yes, I will definitely record it.
Oh. See, after getting them extracted, that doesn't bother me, because usually I'm like doped up. And they give me like prescription ibuprofen or Vicodin or whatever. It's before you get to see the dentist, like when the bad tooth is still bad.
Yep. You can't go to sleep at night.
Is ridiculous. I will take any pain over the fucking that.
Well, I'm fortunate enough that I'm not in any pain yet, but hey, here's hoping. But yeah, that was dumb, stupid moment for me.
I would literally take the pain of getting a tattoo on my eyelid over tooth pain.
Yeah, tooth pain is the fucking worst, man.
I'll take tooth pain over the pain I'm having right now.
In your ass?
I don't want to take any pains. I'll take no pain. No pain for the win.
No pain.
All of my joints hurt.
Oh,
Basement just wants to be numb.
Yeah, why not?
It's fully numb.
Like Linkin Park, numb. Good song. Anyway, so we got some stuff we'll be talking about. Of course, you guys are more than welcome to join us in the conversation in the chat. We'll be throwing some polls up throughout the evening, and you can check out the stuff that we're talking about in the description. Just ignore the goblin thing. You can check out all the articles for what we're talking about in the description below and join the conversation. Plus, we'll throw in some more would you rathers in between, just like we've been doing the last couple of weeks. So always enjoy your interactivity. And with that being said, also make sure you smash that big ol' thumbs up and hit the like if you guys like these episodes. That being said, I think it's time to head on over to the first subject we'll talk about. I think looking at the parade of things that we have that we're going to talk about tonight, I think it's probably best to start the one off that's going to cause the most rants. I know we were just like all laughing and giggly moo, but now who wants to go first on Jussie Smollett or whatever the fuck his name is?
I don't think that's going to be the one that causes the most bitching.
I think we're all pretty much in an agreement on this one. He should still be in jail.
Yeah,
absolutely, 100%. If that was anybody else, sorry.
And his appeals should be swift and get the same result, or get a stronger sentence than what he has now.
So
honestly, if it was anyone else, they would still be in jail, and they would have gotten even more jail time than what he did.
What did you say, Rayshawn?
Did he break out?
He didn't break out. I want to break free. That's what he told the judge.
Good answer.
I'm not crazy.
So for those of you who don't know, Jussie Smollett was released from jail Wednesday night after Illinois appeals court granted an emergency motion by his defense attorneys. Smollett's legal team is looking to delay his sentence and grant him bond until their appeal on his conviction is decided on. He was sentenced last week to 30 months for felony probation, including 150 days in jail, in order to pay restitution of more than $120,000 and a $25,000 fine for making false reports to police that he was victim of a hate crime in January of 2019. Yeah, I mean, you're not wrong, Heather. It's pretty much just what? Come on.
It's fuel to the fire for something that really didn't need it, and from a celebrity figure. Where there's so much backing for his claim immediately, that's like dangerous shit, man.
Well, and here's the thing.
I expected it.
How much of a pussy is this guy that he couldn't just bite the bullet and take the 30 months? Because he was actually, in my opinion, he was actually getting off easy. I know that there was like threats and shit on him in prison, but hello, that's fucking prison.
I'm gonna tell you why. And I don't want to, but if you can't figure it out,
I know what you're gonna say.
He thinks he was justified in doing what he was doing to try and prove a point that we, as a society, don't like people like him.
It's just bullshit.
It is bullshit.
Talking about the color of his skin, and I hate to say that, that's why he did it.
I think he had bought into a
now
narrative.
He's trying to play the victim card
Mm-hmm.
on something where he wasn't the victim.
No, he's the perpetrator. He's in the wrong 100%.
He's a narcissistic piece of shit that's gonna get away. All of these fucking Hollywood elites and B players are getting away with this shit because they believe and follow and praise the
whatever's the crying game at the moment, unfortunately.
It's them praising the left, Pelosi.
Yeah.
Biden.
It's usually
Harris. Kamala Harris even said he was unjustly convicted.
And none of them said anything afterwards. They'll just hush. It's like, maybe you should shut the fuck up until you let the system of law do something about it first. But I mean, it was obviously fucking stupid.
Well, and
it's a political move. It's a political move, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, because they're going to be like, even if you get caught, you're not going to spend much time in jail. We'll insure it. But anyways, go ahead.
The thing is like, if there wouldn't have been as much evidence against him, then okay, fine. But there was so much fucking evidence
irrefutable.
that convicted him.
Yeah.
Like, he was convicted on irrefutable evidence. Like, just give it up, dude. Admit that you did wrong. Man up, serve your time, and move the fuck on with your life.
And
these little temper tantrums that he's throwing, it's not doing anything for his fucking image. It's making a matter that was bad to begin with 10 times worse.
This is where I find it.
You can say that, normal people like you and me, but everybody else will praise that man.
This is where I find it very.
You will become a folk hero.
So it's very peculiar because it was at a time of racial tension, at a time of it coincided roughly with the election, right? The moving of political.
Yeah,
it was 2019 was like right at the beginning.
Yeah. So and then you have Kamala Harris, someone who's going to be part of that political party, coming out and supporting him. But it's so odd that the people that supported him probably had, at least she definitely had political sway, and a lot of the others do as well in some realm. But that comes out, and they don't have to ever answer for it. And then when he's getting carried away to jail, he's yelling, "I'm not crazy, I'm not going to kill myself." That, to me, kind of ties those two things together.
Yeah.
Because his fear of being killed by the government while he's in jail, or killed by some other source.
It was because there was threats on his life, and the thing is, I mean, anybody on the call disagree with me if you want to, but like, I feel that a lot of people, especially like, I know quite a few Black people themselves that were very, very pissed off when they found out that this was faked, because whether you're talking about a victim of a hate crime or a victim of rape or anything like that, when you have motherfuckers like this guy who are out there and they're making false accusations, it makes, every single time that happens, it makes the victim less and less likely to be believed. When you actually have a case where, like, let's say a Black man is actually attacked, it's less likely for people to believe it because of fucks like this guy.
It's the worst of both, because he's gonna
think so.
So
Well, he basically creates a narrative of like lying victims, right? Which is not good.
Right.
Like it's a super negative thing for people that might actually have something bad happen to them and want to tell the story. It's like, oh, it's another Jussie. But it's also like, I mean, it's gross on every level, because not only was it going to impact that part of the population, but it's going to impact how, like, I mean, with celebrity backing and with the news that it got, if it was played off like an actual racist thing that happened to him, the news would fucking cream their pants, and this would be everywhere, and then they'll make people hate each other who never hated each other to begin with, because they breed that thought.
I'm going to say this, and Gina, this is nothing against you. This question directed at you.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever ask any of them why they were mad that this was fake?
Why they were mad? Because there have been instances where, you know.
No. But did you ask them?
Yes, I did, and they were angry because it was fake. Like, they were angry that he made a false accusation, because it makes them less likely to be believed if somebody actually is attacked. You know, and that goes the same whether it's a race thing or a rape or even just a simple assault. Anytime that you have any kind of false accusation like that, the more false accusations you get, especially from guys in like positions like this guy was, the less likely it is for victims to be believed. And the more they have to fight just for somebody to believe them.
You can see it relate to like a microscope being put on cases like this, where it's a lot heavily scrutinized, and the law, like, it doesn't always get it right, for sure. But like, this is, to me, they were spot on when they finally called it a hoax, because goddamn, he might be the stupidest man alive to try to play this off. Like, I don't understand how he thought he was going to get away with this.
Here's the reason I asked that question, because I asked somebody that question once.
Yeah.
And they were mad it wasn't true, because then they now found a reason to not be angry.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I mean, no,
yeah,
but I get that
was
too. I get that too, because people need that. Like, some people live off the purpose, and anger is a purpose for a lot of what people do, right?
Especially at that time, because we're talking early 2019. I mean, you guys remember what happened in 2019. We had the George Floyd incident and like all of the riots that were going on everywhere and all the protests. And this was like a big thing in 2019.
Yeah, but the George Floyd thing was different. You literally saw what happened on camera. Did we see anybody attack this guy on camera?
No. I'm not saying it's the same. I'm
the
just
subway
saying, like,
recordings.
as far as like, he took advantage of like the heightened racial tensions at the time,
trying to propel himself into like Muhammad Ali or some shit.
Yeah, he thought that by pulling this thing with the racial tensions being where they were at the time, he thought that he would be looked at like, oh my God, look what happened to this man, and he would be like elevated up to like a hero like level.
He wanted to be Kaepernick.
I don't think that. I think he was just doing that for attention, because
that's kind of the same. That's kind of the same.
Star on Empire. He's the star on Empire, so he thought he had a lot of pull.
No, but here's the thing: he was about ready to lose his job on Empire.
Yeah, that's fine, because he sucked.
Right.
Not only dick, you know what I'm saying?
Why he did it too. But like, I'm agreeing. Like, basically, what I said is basically the same thing you're saying, Rayshawn. What I'm trying to say is like he wanted to be idolized, which would give him a lot of attention.
Well, the idolization of someone like that.
Say,
Sorry, go ahead, Heather.
which I will say, the sickness of this type of group showed because there were hosts on morning TV shows sitting there saying, yeah, he might have faked it, but I'm glad he did because that's showing the world what actually could happen to us out there. And it's like,
Which is just stupid.
Are you not listening to what you actually just
So
said?
that's the point I'm trying to get across. This guy's going to be considered a folk hero because of this.
I don't know, man. I consider him a fucking.
I mean,
penis.
Alpha put a quote from I know some people on the call don't like Dave Chappelle, but Alpha put a perfect quote from Dave Chappelle in the chat, and he said we were supporting him with our silence because we understood that this blank was clearly lying.
I mean, his story had so many holes, and it was like, but what? And also, he's not an A-list star. He wasn't. He was a B-lister that was looking to Colin Kaepernick himself to the top.
Yep.
You are correct. You are 100% right. But people only want to hear what they want to hear. They only want to believe what they want to believe.
Yeah, and that's the problem with today's society.
This is a problem with our society as a whole. People don't care. It's like the Matt Riddle thing, which became out to be a fallacy. And people are like, well, the guy's a piece of shit. He did this to this girl. Dude,
yeah, well,
read.
And
I don't believe any of that.
But you know what, though? The really fucked up thing is...
said he was lying. The Will Ospreay thing. Like, come on, people. Don't believe everything you hear and then just ignore everything else. But that's what people are doing.
Yeah, and the really fucked up part about that is it's becoming harder and harder to just be able to read articles about both sides of a story because
I just turn it off.
You have these quote unquote fact checkers.
Bullshit.
And they have them on fucking Google now. Like, okay, one day obviously I know, in my opinion, what's going on with Ukraine and Russia. Russia was obviously the aggressor in that. My opinion, whatever, think whichever you want. But I was like, I wonder why Russia says that they're doing this, right? So like I was looking for articles online that were like pertaining to like Russia's point of view of things, right? I could not get a single article about Russia's point of view because the fact checkers came up on Google and I couldn't find a single thing about it.
I mean, that's the thing.
You would, but then it'd be, well, this is deemed to be
false. Yeah.
Right.
Well, the thing is with the media as a whole, and just to Jussie Smollett's point, the media was on this fucking insanely when it first happened, and then once they found out that it was bullshit, no, not a whisper. You have to search to find out what happened to this guy. Mm-hmm. Instead of it being mainstream on your fucking face taking a shit.
This whole thing is just bad and stupid all around. I think that like it's childish at the end of the day.
It is so childish.
And like attention seeking.
Like realistically, I was trying to wrap my head around honestly what he was trying to accomplish with this, and I think just either getting the attention or trying to portray himself as this like righteous person.
He wants to be Black Jesus or Jesus, I guess, since he was of a darker skin color.
I'm MLK Christ Gandhi, who, by the way, Gandhi's part of Horny Goat Wrestling. But the point is that like
Really?
Sorry. Yeah, Gandhi's in the game. So so like that's the only thing I can think of as far as the reasoning behind this. And then when it implodes upon him, which it should have, he gets sentenced the proper way. And okay, and then it's a fucking circus.
Yeah,
it's a goddamn circus.
Way out of it.
And you knew it was going to turn into a circus very, very quickly as soon as he exited the courtroom, screaming, "I'm not suicidal. I don't want to kill myself." And then the accusations of like he's getting threats inside, and all of this stuff started. And correct me if I'm wrong, anybody, but I believe that's why he was let out, because he was supposedly getting threats inside.
Wait, who said that though? Was that him?
Well, his attorney.
I can't believe a word that man says ever again. But it's like if you saw a house on fire and you took a gas can and poured it on the houses next to that house, you think I'm gonna get 6 days in jail? No.
Wow.
No.
No, it's the indecent exposure that'll get you in there.
But it's really, really sad with this whole thing. That because most people do not get released from prison while their appeal goes through. That does not happen for most people. Most people have to sit in prison.
He's Jesus.
Right.
You got that right.
What I'm saying. That is the sad part about this, because he's not being treated like an ordinary citizen. And I don't give a fuck who you are. I don't care if it's Donald Trump sitting in that fucking courtroom.
Wrong.
Everybody in the United States has the same equal right to a fair trial, and once you get that fair trial, you have the same equal rights of appeal.
But that's not true. Money talks.
But it's not true, exactly. So, like, it's really disappointing to me that he
the justice
was
system
let out
has
of
failed
jail
us all.
for appeal. That's right. It's the system failing itself yet again. It's special circumstances, and there should not be any fucking special circumstances. I don't care who you are, unless you have like a medical issue where you need to be in the hospital, but in that case you still need to be in fucking handcuffs to your bed with guards. Like,
I understand that, like, sometimes the system, you know, we've talked about this before about like our opinions about the system failed or the justice system, whatever have you. But and I'm not even saying that like the justice system necessarily failed. However, when you see examples like this, you kind of go like, what the, like, come the fuck on, you know what I mean? Like it just like,
person would still be
and I mean, if somebody else gets like in trouble for fucking making a false claim, I'd be like, well, I fucking tell my lawyer, right, pull up Jussie Slump, whatever the fuck his name is. Pull him up. I was going to say slump it.
Jesse cry wolf.
I mean, obviously,
Exactly,
That's
Rachel.
happened to everybody in prison, okay? Like, how many people on a daily basis get their fucking ass beat, literally, in prison?
Yeah, everybody knows that in prison you're going to get
You're gonna have to answer for some of that shit you did, man.
Exactly. That's the place
hard
that
way.
you have to answer for it. And why should this guy be any fucking different?
You know what he was getting himself into.
He's not the only one. There's thousands, millions out there that got light sentences because they had money or sway. Well, come on. We all know it's true.
I mean,
but this is the most recent one that was like, come on.
Well,
you have irrefutable proof that this guy's a piece of shit.
It was already an eye roll when he did the hand thing, and it's just like on top of that. It's like,
yeah, you look at what the fuck was that big company that went under for fucking fraud?
Enron.
Thank you. You look at all the people from Enron, and a lot of them are in like those country club style fucking prisons.
Yep.
Because they have money.
Yeah, I mean, in the end, you can pay off pretty much anybody.
Exactly.
Except for
he deserved to be in there.
Jail him for
I don't
life.
know. His sentence was 30 months, you said?
Yeah.
He spent 6 days in jail.
155 days. That's about 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
A little over 5.
We need more than that.
It's the climate in which he took advantage of.
Okay, so really, his punishable offense, if you lie to the cops, you only get a couple of days in jail.
Yeah, but this lie was like, how much money and resources did the cops put into it, you know?
No, but I'm just saying, so 155 days is a lot of time.
But he didn't just get it for lying to the cops, did he? He got a couple of different
6
charges.
days in jail.
But he got a couple of different charges, I thought, that he was convicted of, because like he got convicted of falsifying a crime, and then he got convicted of, I don't know what it's called, but basically paying those guys off to beat him up.
Yes.
He fell for the Nigerian prince scandal.
I'm going to tell you, I don't know what it is. You'd have to look it up, but I don't think that it's that long of a sentence.
I mean, he should take more. The thing is, he took advantage of political turmoil, basically, to incite something that could be very dangerous for the mass populace. I don't think there's a ruling for that, but
so the crime that he committed, they gave him, I think, is the maximum that they could give him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's not going to serve it though, right?
If it was, I mean, they could have got him for a hate crime.
I think he
They
should.
could have.
To be honest.
They could have. But
Well, he kind of does a hate crime to himself, I guess.
Well, hold on. Let me Google this and see what his charges actually were.
So I guess the thing for me, and I don't want to belittle, the concept of like falsifying such a, what for, according to him was such a serious thing, but like, are we really making this much of a circus and this much of a show run over a guy who basically just straight up lied about something that was, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he didn't he again, I'm not trying to diminish like actual like victims of like hate or race or anything of that nature. I'm not trying to belittle it, but my point is like he falsified this act, right? Which I agree with Gina. It's horrible when you falsify because it's like a boy or cry wolf situation, and it makes it hard for those who actually have. But it's like he didn't like. I feel like there was more attention sometimes on OJ, or less attention on OJ than there is on this piece of shit. And it's like, what the fuck, man?
I don't know, man. I watched the OJ Brocco chase for what seemed like 17 years of my life.
Okay, so initial charges that were brought in February 2019 were faking the assault, were soon after tossed. So hold on.
Tim put something in the chat saying he just looked. The max sentence is 3 years in prison because in Illinois it's a class 4 felony to file a false police report.
Yeah,
that's right.
got it
Chicago,
for.
yep.
Okay, so
at who is the DA? She wasn't gonna do that. She wasn't gonna give him the full.
Okay, so here's.
Well, originally they weren't going to charge him with anything.
Here's the charges. He got it for disorderly conduct statute, which encompasses a wide range of offenses from making prank 911 calls to placing harassing calls as a debt collector.
Oh my god. This guy's a kid.
It says he faced 6 counts of disorderly conduct under subjection of the law that prohibits false reports to the police.
Did you see the menace?
The charges were listed as class 4 felonies, which are among the least serious felonies in Illinois, but convictions can still carry potential prison sentences of up to 3 years. He was found guilty on Thursday of 5 of the 6 counts. His lack of criminal history and the fact that no one was seriously hurt make actual time behind bars unlikely, which obviously that's
no one was
not
seriously hurt
now.
thing. That's like the risk of somebody being seriously hurt versus if it was confirmed and let go by the jury or whatever.
Well, see, and I think that like this article obviously came out. Like I was just reading the charges, but this article obviously came out before the sentencing hearing. But this article said it said the actual time spent behind bars is unlikely. It's more likely a judge would sentence him to probation and perhaps order him to perform community service, which I think is what he is trying to argue right now, because
I'll just hire a couple Nigerians to do it.
But I think that's what he's trying to argue right now, because like they basically threw the full book at him, and since this is his first offense and he didn't have any priors before this,
the system of law is so weird because they can throw the full book at him, but like now he's out of jail immediately. So
yeah.
I mean. I don't know. It's fucked up.
I don't care. I personally don't care that this is his first offense that they know of.
This was a bad enough offense.
In prison, thinking about it, and he should be the one being made an example of.
And instead,
one, we are not going to tolerate hate in this state, and 2,
that right.
we will not tolerate lying either.
People get locked up for having weed.
Yeah, well, and that's exactly it. Like, we have people that are
I'm in jail for 6 years for possession of marijuana. I was in jail for 6 days for inciting a race war.
Yeah, exactly.
Jesus Christ.
See, it all works out.
People that are getting locked up for fucking minor offenses. Again, these are regular people. These are everyday people. They're not fucking Jussie Smollett.
Well, Speaking of crimes, I think this is a great segue into something else that we have on here on our docket.
Oh, no.
What, Rayshawn?
I thought you were saying crime time.
Crime time.
Yo. Check your homies and pop your rollies. It's crime time. Those vignettes are hilarious. I love those. But so speaking of crime, I guess some people can consider this a crime. The crime of raising your goddamn prices, because everything else in this fucking country is already expensive as it is. So apparently, Netflix is testing charging users for sharing subscriptions outside of their household. So pony up, bitches. So Netflix is making an effort to curb password sharing with new features being launched and tested in parts of Central and South America. On Wednesday, the company announced on its site that it has, quote, been working on ways to enable members who share their Netflix accounts outside their household to do so easily and securely while also paying a bit more. Under the heading paying to share Netflix outside your household, the release stated that, quote, features like separate profiles and multiple streams in our standard and premium plans have created some confusion about how and when Netflix can be shared. As a result, accounts are being shared between households, impacting our ability to invest in a great new TV and films for our members. Because, yeah, it's not already getting expensive as it is with all these fucking subscription services.
I have a fucking gripe about this. Okay, my mom and my dad use my Netflix account. However, I pay for 4 TVs, okay? Up to 4 TVs. Now, with my mom and my dad, that makes 4 TVs that I use my Netflix on. So why the fuck should I have to pay more just because they're in a different household when I'm already paying for that 4th TV? Not only that, but what about if my son goes to college and he's using our Netflix? Do I have to pay more just because he's in fucking college?
The only way I accept this is if they lower their cost per month in order for that tier system to work. Because if they're going to keep that cost where it is, it's fucking ridiculous. And Netflix, to be honest with you, is not worth it.
I pay over I pay over $21 a month for 4 fucking TVs.
Yeah, they already have us.
Yeah,
they already have us paying extra for additional the sign-ins or whatever. I don't know how they fucking do. I can't remember. But like the selling point for Netflix from the beginning, one of the big selling points was to be able to share it, right? To have it be shared. I get their, hey, we're losing money this way. Yeah, but you also gained a huge fan base this way. You want to change that? You got to lower your tier pricing because some people are paying a lot for one, and one's expensive anyway. And the product is dwindled over time anyway.
Well, not just that, like, oh, sorry, guy, Rayshawn.
Oh, I was gonna say, I don't understand why it doesn't matter who is sharing what. You're getting the money at the end of the day. Just why don't you update your shit weekly?
The thing is, they're not getting the same amount of money. They want that $14.99 from everyone that's ever gonna touch Netflix. Not $16.99 for 3 people touching it.
If you have, like, let's say you have just like the normal Netflix subscription and it's 2 TVs or up to 2 TVs and you're still sharing your password and other people are watching it, you know, and so let's say instead of those, you share your passwords with, let's say, 2 or 3 friends. Okay. So now instead of 2 TVs, you actually have 5 people watching. I can understand that. But if you're already paying for 4 TVs, then you should not be charged more for one fucking TV.
I don't know if do they charge by they don't charge by device.
No, you can. Okay, so like
sort of.
The smallest package is for up to 2 TVs, and then the next package up is up to 4 TVs.
But what if you watch Netflix on your phone?
You can have up to, I think it's up to number of devices.
Yeah, so like you can have it
simultaneously.
Yes. That's what it is. Simultaneous streaming.
You can have it on your phone and on your TV. You can have all of those devices, but unless you're watching both of them at the same time, they're not going to count as 2 different screens.
So I believe what Basin was asking was like, how is it charged? And I said, I believe it's based off of the number of like multiple streams you can have going on at once.
I think I have 4. Mm-hmm. That one.
So
I have 2.
The question is, what is the flat rate?
Just for flat one person watching at once?
Just what's the rate?
The flat rate for Netflix, I believe, is up to $13 or $14.99 now.
I think it's $16.99 here.
Whoa,
That's
Jesus.
what we're paying, and It didn't say anything about multiple TVs
They
or any
never
kind of
asked
tier.
me how many.
It's how many devices would be streaming simultaneously.
We never
Because
got that.
I remember
when
my
I
sister said, I can't get in. It says too many devices streaming at once.
Yeah, like when I
I
signed
have
up
not
for
met that.
Netflix, it asked me immediately, like, how many devices are you going to have? If you're going to have more than 2 devices, then you need to upgrade to this. So I had to automatically upgrade to the 4 TVs, which when I first signed up for Netflix, the 4 TVs was only, I think it was like maybe $12.
I went from
Now
12
it's up to
$14.99.
over 21.
Yeah, now it's fucking stupid expensive.
Mhm.
And it's just not worth it.
No,
I did not. When I signed up, I did not.
We didn't get that question.
But they also raised the price
Interesting.
on you by just sending you an email or whatever.
by the way, they still ship DVDs.
Yeah, we're still only paying like $15 for it.
17.
Oh, like the generic price has gone up, like just in general. But like they introduced a version of the tier system here at least. It's the same as Gina has here.
Paying $2.99 for
Yeah.
mine because of T-Mobile's paying partially the bill.
So the only thing that I'm a little like skeeved about is the fact that like Netflix is not in a great position to be penny pinching right now. I get that
Right.
companies, they're obviously going to try and inflate their rates and do whatever they can to get every single fucking penny. I get that, but I think Netflix, out of almost all of them,
It's
is
on a
not the one
decline.
that should be doing it. Right. So it's like you're competing with so many streaming services now. If when
Mhm.
Netflix was like the top dog, okay, fine, I can sympathize and understand a little bit. Again, I'm not saying it's the best thing, but like fuck, I can
also
at least
did
like
this-
wrap my head around it.
They also did this to themselves by creating a model that was not sustainable for what they were doing. I'm sure you guys went through it. Telecommunication companies created a model that was never sustainable because it was built off of discounts. This model is not sustainable because it's really they overlooked the sharing,
Yep.
That's how much I paid for Netflix.
and now they have to take away something from the customer base, and no customer base likes that.
That's
also-
much
See how much you pay?
1634, yeah, that's
You must have the 2 devices because like mine is $21 for fucking.
my nieces use it.
Right, but do they stream it all at one time? That's my question. Like, unless they're streaming it all
you
at
might
one
have the 2
time.
devices one because that's the price of the original one here.
I think the
$16.99.
2 devices is the standard.
That it is like if you got the standard one, then it automatically comes with 2 devices. But if you try to stream more
I
than
mean,
2
yeah,
devices
Google
at
the
one
rates
time, then
because
it'll
I'm
tell
not too
you
sure.
you have too many streaming.
You can Google the
I
rates.
did
I'm
throw-
not too sure.
But didn't they
I
just
did-
raise the prices recently, not too long ago?
Yeah, they raise the
They
prices
did,
every
yeah.
fucking year, man.
I'm gonna tell you right now, this is why I'm saying this. I don't believe that because when I
Send you my
lived
bill.
with my mom, listen to what I'm saying. When I lived with my mom, all of my nieces were all using Netflix. We had 4 TVs.
But that might have been before they introduced the
My
share thing.
brother's room, one in the living room, one in my room, and one
Yep.
in
The living room.
Yeah, but
living
the share thing only happened within like the last 2 years or something.
But were you all watching something at the same time?
We're
Yes.
also wearing something at the same
Oh,
time.
okay.
The thing is, like, so like even 2-3 years ago, Netflix was a lot different than what it is now because like they have changed rules so much now.
Now they're
I-
quantity
I-
over
that-
quality,
but-
to be honest.
When I very, very first started with Netflix, I only had 2 TVs because it was the same way as with you, JP. Like it would let all of us stream, no problem. But then all of a sudden it started telling me that there was too many people streaming because my
Yep.
parents were watching something at the same time that I was, and Austin was watching something and I was trying to watch something. So it would tell me I couldn't log in. So I had no choice but to upgrade to the 4 TV.
So I just looked up the pricing plans for everything just in case anyone was actually curious. So here it is. So right now, and I think JP must be getting some sort of discount or something because this is what it is. There's 3 plans. There's the basic, the standard, and the premium. The basic gets you 1 screen at a time, 1 phone or tablet you can have downloads on, and it's $10 a month. The standard is all that, but it's 2 screens and 2 phones and tablets you can have on downloads for $15.49 a month.
That's the one.
And
that's
then the
$16.99.
premium is $19.99, which gives you 4.
and that's the one
Right,
that's
and
$21.99 here.
Yes, and with taxes added, they just upped the price again. So with taxes added, it comes up to about $21.46.
You just said 2 screens, like 2 screens TV and 2 tablets.
Meaning you can simultaneously, you can have 2 phones or tablets because Netflix has the ability to download videos. So you can download them on the app, so you don't have to have a signal in order to watch them.
I mean, in the end, all I'm going to say about this entire thing is
I think it's a stupid move.
Netflix is slowly going down in quality. It has really put a lot of money on things that they release a show and they cancel a show, which is bad for business because, hey, it might not be for everybody, but the people that were into that show now lose the show and there's no completion to it and it's over.
Daredevil, Punisher.
Exactly. Well, there's multiple to that, and they put a lot of money in getting like live action anime, which is just never gonna work.
Poor Cowboy Bebop never stood a chance.
Seriously.
The thing is like the only reason why I personally keep Netflix is because they do have some shows that are just exclusive to Netflix, such as Cobra Kai and Stranger Things, that I love. You know, I love those shows, so I keep Netflix. Mainly, I keep Netflix because of my kids, because it's what my kids watch the majority of. Like, they watch Netflix more than they watch Disney.
But
That's understandable. It's just that if you're going to raise the prices, raise the quality. Like,
well, the thing is, the quality has gone
the-
down while the prices has gone up historically for Netflix. The quality was the best early years of Netflix. They released nothing but fucking good television, and now it's just.
And now everyone's in the scramble for IPs and stuff too. So
Honestly, the only thing you can find on Netflix anymore, as far as movies go, are the fucking indie Sundance film movies that are.
Yep.
You can't find any good blockbuster movies on Netflix anymore, and it's just like
because they don't
supposed to be the best out there, and now you're just giving a shit.
You know why? It's because they don't produce them, and they can't buy the rights because everybody else has their own fucking platform.
Right.
They're not doing a great job at looking at the entirety of what's happening and making a decision based on it.
I was just about ready to say Basement's bitching, and he, living in Canada, you have better fucking movie choices than we do on our Netflix.
it's so weird.
I think it's just random, to be honest. Sometimes we have better, sometimes you guys have better. That's it.
We
I
have
don't
better
know.
prices.
Just get
I
a
don't understand why
VPN.
it's not,
Get a
like, the
VPN and you
same
can watch
fucking-
anything.
Just don't understand why they don't have the same movies across the whole platform for like all
Copyrights and
nations.
shit like that.
I suppose.
Well,
Gotta love those IPs.
You already said it. Why would Disney want to give up their stuff that they made to Netflix when they have their own streaming service?
Yeah, and in the end, you can see the change happening. In all honesty, Netflix needs to kind of bow down a bit and become more of an original series creator and less of showing other people's shit, because they're gonna have to. I don't think they're gonna be able to make a lot of mainstream movies because their platform is Netflix. They're gonna show it on Netflix.
Well, especially considering that now you have Paramount Plus, who Nickelodeon is on Paramount Plus, so they have all the rights to everything Nickelodeon. And then you have fucking
I mean, you
HBO
have a
Max.
million
They have
things.
have HBO Max that has their own streaming service. Anything NBC related is on Peacock.
Peacock, yeah.
Just unsubscribe to my Paramount. I don't even use it. I bought it to watch Bar Rescue. I finished it and I ain't watching nothing else.
But I feel like that's the
Listen,
mentality
I
of a
got-
lot of people going forward, where people are going to, hey, I got Netflix for a month or two. I'm done with Netflix, moving over to something else. Like beforehand, I could see like people hanging on to Netflix and hanging on to these platforms because, hey, I'm expecting this show to come out in a month. I might as well keep it and going through the fucking rigmarole of canceling it, whatever. But now that the cost is what it is with Netflix, me saying, hey, I might as well keep it for another 3 months and wait for them to put my show out. That's fucking almost $100.
And I wanted to get rid of my Netflix because I personally, I have every other fucking streaming service possible, pretty much. I have fucking Peacock, Paramount Plus, Discovery Plus, you fucking name it, I have it.
Plus.
I got Plus Plus.
HBO Max, I got Plus Plus. I have everything, but like, of everything that I have, Netflix is the one that costs the most and has the fucking least.
The
amount
least
of-
like return. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. No, I'm right there with you. I did throw in the chat an interesting poll. I said like, I said, how many people, how many streaming subscription services do you have? I put 1 through 2, 3 through 4, 5 to 6, or 6 or more. And it's funny because half people either have 1 or 2 or 6 or more. And it's like, fucking hell, man. Like there's so many of them out there.
I got 3 or 4.
I'm paying the same price that I would be for cable for all of my streaming services, but I mean, obviously,
it's arguably better than cable, at least.
I was just gonna say, obviously, it pays because you're able to watch whatever the fuck you want, whenever the hell you want to, and you never have to worry about God. There's never anything on, even though 90% of the time I think I have too many streaming services because I still can't find anything to watch.
Through, looking forever, and like, I really want this. Yeah, no,
Sling TV to watch live football games, but since it's off season, I unsubscribed to that because that was $51. Why am I spending $51?
And we do the same thing when it comes to basketball season because Austin watches basketball and Sling.
And that's the way I think most people are going to operate for a lot of these streaming services moving forward. I honestly, like, unless it's like $10 or less, why the fuck am I paying $20 for something I'm going to watch 3 months from now? Well, it's actually $60 to do nothing with it. But yeah, I think that's all I can really say about this. It's a cash grab. I think it's the wrong move by Netflix. I think it's actually going to hurt them in the long run because they aren't really offering
a lot of their moves that they've been making are hurting them in the long run, and they're trying to unbury themselves, but it's just making it.
That's
what
not the way to do it.
I mean, in the end,
Making it cost more for less is going to hurt them so badly that they're going to end up going the way of fucking Redbox and DVDs.
I mean, the right way...
they're going to turn into Blockbuster.
The right thing to do is get a VPN and go on Popcorn TV or one of these places.
It's not the right thing to do.
Well,
we do not encourage that.
No, because get a VPN. You're paying what? How much a month? You turn your $100 streaming service into $8.99. And then you're fine. I mean, all the laws around like streaming on Popcorn TV or any of those are laws for where you live. They might be a fine for wherever else. So a VPN that can't tell you where you live, or you can choose.
Or you could just go on a website.
You are so goblin-y right now.
Money, baby.
You're taking notes. What are you talking about?
Goblins care about money.
Website and just watch stuff for free.
Yeah, but then I like the only thing with that is I get emails, like intimidating emails from telecommunication. Like, you shouldn't be doing this. We could use this in a clash accident. I'm like, oh god.
Oh man. All right.
Or Video Island.
Hollywood Video. Oh man, yeah. Those are classics. Oh man, I forgot about all those. All right, let's switch gears here. I think we obviously got a few more stories here, but let's start off with I guess or not start off with. Let's try this one out. Let's talk about interesting little tidbit that Sir Danielle Radcliffe wants nothing to do with anything with the Harry Potter franchise. He says he's gotten out. He's free to do more artistic endeavors and such. In other movie mediums. So it's interesting because I believe when's the next one come out? The next was it the Dumbledore one?
Was he supposed to be in that anyway? He wasn't even born.
So those movies were made before he was even.
Right.
Harry Potter was born.
Yeah.
Right. So it says, do not expect Danielle Radcliffe to return the Harry Potter franchise anytime soon. Recently, Chris Columbus, who directed the first 2 Harry Potter movies, said he wanted to direct a Harry Potter and the Cursed Child film adaptation, but Radcliffe returning the star as Harry Potter. However, Radcliffe told New York Times that a Cursed Child film adaptation is not something I'm really interested in doing right now. I mean...
He's done enough Harry Potter, let's be real.
I can't blame him.
Yeah, the franchise is doing fine without him. Like let's be very.
I would say like he says in that blurb there that he'd be like, I'd be okay going back to it like 60 years later. Yeah, fucking turn him into Dumbledore at some point in time. Yeah. For the new age of Hogwarts kids.
Plus, he's already gonna be hated anyway since he killed Batman. So.
He killed Batman.
Well, he got Batman killed, I should say.
Oh, cool. Shame. Potter.
In the 4th movie, it was Robert Pattinson.
Oh my god, you're linking things together that I was like... First of all, Robert Pattinson is not Batman to me yet until I see the movie.
Oh,
Wait,
I'm not a Harry Potter fan, so
You should be.
What would you say, Gina?
look at.
I'm
oh my
trying to
God.
remember Robert
Give me that
Pattinson in that
face.
movie.
Yeah, he was fucking
Yeah,
Cedric
he was the-
Diggory.
he was-
He
Yeah,
was the
he was
new
the kid.
Yeah, and
Yep.
he was so
Okay,
cool.
I remember. Yeah, I remember
It's
now.
like, take this egg into the water and talk to some young girl that's 40.
Shirley Henderson.
Some girl that's 40.
Well, the girl who played Moaning Myrtle is actually 40 years old.
It's kind of creepy
my
because she's
God.
like hitting on him and he's like 7 years old or whatever.
What's underneath the bubbles? Let me
Show
take
me
a
what's
look.
underneath the bubbles, Harry.
Oh my
Let me get a look at your wand, Harry.
So the
Shoot
first
me
two
all
Harry
the
Potter
magic, Harry.
movies, and I tapped out.
See, Rayshawn, I really wasn't into the Harry Potter movies until my daughter started getting into like the Harry Potter series, and her and I sat down and watched the movies together. And once I watched the first one, it was like a necessity that I had to watch the rest of them
See,
afterwards.
the first
'Cause
one
I
was
didn't know what
very
happened.
childish. Like the series actually adheres to the age group of the kids as they grow up. So
Yeah,
it's
and
something.
you can tell that once you start getting to like the fourth one, it starts to get a little bit more scary
Yeah.
as they're getting older.
It just gets darker.
Yeah.
Darker.
Well,
He gets-
I'm
like,
using
literally.
I'm
Yeah.
using Bella's words. They get scary.
Harry Potter he's like, I'm just angry all the time. Like, yeah, have you jacked off yet, Harry?
I actually like the movie, so.
But going back
I
to the
do too.
article, that's good for him. If he see opportunities elsewhere, he already did like 100 movies.
Yeah, he hasn't been doing bad
I'm for
outside
him.
of Harry Potter. And Harry
That's the
Potter
thing.
franchise is doing okay without him, so whatever.
I mean, he also
feel-
doesn't need to because God knows how much fucking money he made off of that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Here's the
He-
thing,
he
I
just
feel
wanna
like
do
The rest of
something
his life,
else.
I can tell you that much.
He fucked a horse on stage or something.
what?
She'll be riding 6 white horses when she come. You're mixing a lot of shit, like a lot of incorrect information together.
No, okay. The first thing was correct with the 40-year-old woman. He got naked with a
No,
horse
no, no,
on
no, no,
stage.
no. The fucking
Okay,
horse.
but
He
It
got-
was no actual horse. He was actually in a therapy session on stage for his play, where he had fascinations of sleeping with a horse.
Oh, that's pretty close. And he was naked. So get that
There's
through
so
your head.
much. Okay, but
Bojack.
What was
here's-
that movie?
this is
when the
just my
president had to
opinion.
fuck a pig?
What?
Oh, that was
It
the
was a
show.
movie.
No, where they had to
It
fuck
wasn't a
pig.
show?
Broadway
It was
play,
a show.
Rachel.
It was the show Black Mirror.
Oh yes, yes, yeah.
Okay, we are veering to the left. Way fucking dark left. This is just my personal opinion, and I know that he's had some success as of recent.
He's not a very
It's
good actor.
also, it's also not that far off from Harry Potter, so obviously he's still popular from Harry Potter. I feel like this guy, he's gonna have a little bit of short-term success, but then after a while, I and I could be wrong, but I feel like he is gonna tank in Hollywood, and eventually
I
he
think
is going
AEW is
to
going
go.
to sign him.
Eventually, he is going to go back.
Harry Potter
to
is
another Harry Potter.
all elite.
We'll get there. We'll get there, Rachel.
No, I mean, he's not a great actor. He's okay, but he's not great.
Not bad. It's not
I mean,
bad.
I've seen some of his stuff outside of Harry Potter. I watched Guns Akimbo, and that wasn't that good.
I
but
guess
it
I've
wasn't
never
supposed to be
seen
that
anything
good.
outside of Harry Potter for him.
I saw him
So.
fuck a horse on stage in Mexico.
Who's better, him
Nay.
or Tom Holland?
They're kind of
Holland.
they're similar. Tom Holland plays this. Tom Holland is Tom Holland in everything.
Yep.
Just awkward fucking 17-year-old that's actually almost
He's
30.
also like fucking adorable. Like he's so fucking adorable.
Oh, he should get with the fucking Moaning Myrtle.
He's
As
with-
adults, adults that look like kids.
God.
Hello, Spider-Man. Show me your webbing.
Okay.
And see.
Again. And you know, then again, I say that about Danielle Radcliffe, but then again, I would have said the exact same thing about fucking Robert Pattinson after seeing Twilight. I'm like, okay, this guy, he's popular with Twilight,
He did it for the money.
But like, I don't see him going much further. But look at where he is now. He's fucking Batman. Like,
Robert Pattinson's a better actor than both of them.
I mean, agreed.
Yeah.
Especially if you saw like other movies outside of Twilight with
The
him
black
in
and
it,
white
'cause
one
he actually
with William
really-
Dafoe, where they go insane
The
together.
Lighthouse.
Oh, that movie's fucked. If any,
It's a weird fucking
I've
movie.
seen that
it's such a weird movie, but I love it. It's
I'm gonna
so
tell you,
bizarre.
I don't understand it, but
It's very
Let's
fucking
just say that
confusing.
It's not because that movie was not made to be understand. It was made to
made me understand. Oh, God.
I understand what you mean. But no, I mean, yeah, that movie was fucking
Bad shit.
very bizarre,
Yeah, it's a weird one.
but I loved it.
It
I
was
don't
good.
think I've
Yeah.
seen that one.
I
might have to
don't.
look- I didn't
You
look
might
that one
not
up.
want to watch it. It's. I would not. It's not a movie I would recommend, but because I can't recommend it
I've
not
heard
knowing.
good things about it though.
But the thing is, I can't recommend. It's very like you're either gonna love it or you're gonna hate it.
Yeah, but yeah, he's not wrong. Plus,
Here's
you
the
hate black
thing,
and white
like-
movies anyway.
That's true, and I was gonna say not only that, but like usually if Basement tells me I'm gonna hate something, I usually
I don't think you'd like this movie, but
hating it.
That's
He knows
just
what
me.
kind of movies I like, so
rom-coms.
I do.
But
Serial killers.
yeah, I think it's best for Mr. Radcliffe to just.
Right off.
I think he's done with Harry
He's
Potter.
only enough within the Harry Potter world that he can step away.
Mm-hmm.
to something
I mean,
else.
Jesus Christ, it's not like he's gonna be in the fucking movie all the way through, because I kind of
I mean,
glanced at the book, The Cursed Child. It's about his fucking son, not him.
like I'm saying, it would be kind of cool.
Tagging Harry.
It would be kind of
It's
cool
a cameo. It's
if
a fucking cameo. It'll be okay.
it would be
They'll
kind
just
of
call up
cool.
Tom. They'll just call up Tom Fenton, and he'll be all about jumping in on that movie, no problem. That is a kid that will forever be a Harry Potter kid. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
She'll be riding 6 white horses when she comes.
It would be kind of cool
Yeah.
if this franchise
was.
picked back up in like 20 years and they were like the teachers of a new group of
That would make sense.
Hogwarts people. Because they kind of ended in those roles, right?
Yeah.
He never said that he will never go back to Harry Potter. He just
Yeah,
said he's
wait until his
stepping
career
away.
dries up.
That's what I'm saying.
Give it a little time. Give it a little time.
I'll suck your vagina, J.K. Rowling. Put me in a movie. Actually, they banned her from doing
Yep.
anything.
Didn't we give you a happy birthday shout out already last night or something?
Every
But
day is
happy
Casey's
birthday.
birthday now. He's a
It's
birthday
turned into
boy.
a hell.
He's
Wait, how many-
40.
How many times he was born?
3. They put him back in and he came out 3 times.
Oh my god.
Happy birthday,
Um,
Casey.
Happy birthday, bud. So I think it's time to switch things up a little bit. Who's up for some would you rathers?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right. So we like to do these. We like to switch up, obviously, the show a little bit instead of just us talking about like all sorts of shenanigans, like whether or not Daniel Radcliffe fucked a horse. We like to
Pretty sure he did.
switch it up with Orange Goblins. So let me pull up some would you rathers, and of course, we always encourage everyone to participate in the chat as well. So I've got a weird one to start. Not weird as in bad, but it's not Lighthouse weird. I'll put it that way. Let's see here. It is, would you rather?
Go for it.
Fuck a horse.
Would you
you're Daniel
rather-
Radcliffe.
Would you rather spend a week in the forest or a night in a real life haunted house?
Oh,
I know
okay.
that-
Okay, I'm
I
gonna
know
go
Heather's
first
answer,
because I gotta go to the
100%.
washroom. I'm gonna go first. Haunted house, easy.
Haunted house.
And
Haunted fucking house.
I do both.
I actually want to do the forest. I do.
Really?
Yes, I personally want to learn how to live in the wilderness and how to like gather and make my own weapons and stuff like that.
fuck, he wants to go back to
And
1592.
I want to learn how to hunt and all that stuff.
Ray Sean, it's not all it's cracked up to be.
Me, I still would like that skill.
You can
Survival
do it in.
skills.
You can.
Rayshawn, you live in New York. Just go to Central Park at midnight.
There.
That'll give you all the survival tips you fucking need.
No,
Leone,
that's the problem, Heather. I live in New York. They're gonna shoot me down.
Rayshawn goes
Right
to
here.
Survival
Rayshawn-
instinct. There you go.
Rayshawn goes to Central Park and overnight fucking builds a Glock.
How'd you learn that? Scouts. What is it? Street Scouts. Street Scouts.
Street Scouts.
Fucking Street Scouts.
Oh my
Fucking-
god.
This is my Glock building badge. Oh my god, that's fucking
Rayshawn,
great.
you're not that far from like you can go to like Vermont or anywhere. Like the train goes up.
I think you need like a
north side of New
survivalist
York.
to help train you.
He has to get on the Amtrak train. It's not just a regular train.
Like, are we saying forest in the middle of nowhere? You have you can't look up YouTube on how to fucking catch rabbits and shit because you're gonna die real
I
fast.
want to learn how to do everything. How to fucking create a spear to pierce my fucking food and all that shit.
Listen, Rayshawn wants to go back to living. If he wants to go back and living,
He's
to
dead.
living in 1592.
At the
Should have
end,
built a Glock.
what was it? 2 weeks in the forest?
Listen.
What was it?
Weeks.
No.
Listen, Rayshawn,
Rayshawn, you don't even have to go into the forest for that.
Play
Yeah, weed in
Minecraft.
the forest.
you can try to spear your own fish and all this stuff all you want, but I guarantee you, after 15 hours of not being able to get a fish, you're gonna want that fucking Twinkie.
Listen,
Well,
at least
first
they
of
can
all-
DoorDash me to the fucking.
This is when I
the haunted
started
house.
hunting man. It's gonna
Never know.
change really
Rayshawn
fast.
could be a fantastic Grizzly Adams. We don't know.
I could already cook and make a fire, so that's that. I will not die.
Well, there you go. That's really all you need to know about.
You can't bring the Bic lighter with you.
But what if you don't know like what berries you can eat? You end up eating the bad berries and shitting
There-
Well,
there
what
you
if-
yourself
go.
to death.
Like, what are you gonna
That's
do
what I
about, like,
want to learn. I
bugs?
want to learn all that.
So I guess you'd want to
Like,
go to
what
the
do you-
forest
Find out-
with a
There's
survivalist.
research guides. Google has
No, but-
research guides for that.
You'd
Yeah,
have to
but-
train to do that.
But like, what are you gonna do about the bugs? There's like so many bugs.
What time of
Worry
year is
about
this?
no
Is it
bugs.
winter? Because you're dead for sure.
What are you gonna do about ticks? Like, there's a lot of ticks in the forest.
That's like okay. That's like me asking you, what are you gonna do with the ghosts? And
Yeah, when they come
freaking-
for you.
Yeah.
Run away.
What are you
You
gonna
gonna
do
call
with the
Ghostbusters?
ghosts?
And run away.
I was gonna say smile. You're on candid camera.
I'm gonna have all that equipment from Ghost
Then-
Hunters.
Here's the thing.
See,
See everything.
I've actually already lived in a haunted house, so a haunted house overnight does not fucking scare me.
What about a haunted forest? Whoa.
That shit scares me. Like fucking Bigfoot coming out of the forest. Fuck that shit. Not doing it. Not doing it. I'm not gonna be raped by Bigfoot today. No,
Why
thank
is
you.
he haunted?
Oddly specific.
Why is he raping you?
Not
too?
killed, rape.
Bigfoot rape only. God.
Mongo only pawn in game of life.
Listen, he's
But-
out there all by himself. He's got to be horny, okay? And I don't want to be the
Maybe he
one that
doesn't
he's
even
like,
have a
"Oh,
dick."
I'm so horny.
Maybe it's Bigfoot's a girl.
At least we know Gina's priorities in terms of being scared. So
Listen, I'm telling you, anything can jump out of a bush.
Yeah, there you go. Crabs.
Listen, that's double pun.
no, you
Big
said it. Right.
crap.
Well, speaking of us being scared, here's a good one. Would you rather? Well, hold on. Let me read the chat real quick. Everyone pretty much said haunted house. Jurgen, Alpha. Tim said, Rayshawn, you want those skills for when the zombie apocalypse comes. And Tim's like, what are you gonna do? Call the Ghostbusters, of course. Would you rather find a rat in your kitchen
Ugh.
or a roach in your bed?
I'd rather find a roach in my bed. Fuck rats. I
Really?
I would rather find a
Yep.
rat in the kitchen.
I could raise
Yo,
that
y'all got
rat.
me fucked up.
Ratatouille, have you seen it?
Listen,
Nah.
listen,
There's no
a thing
roach
called fucking
Tui.
rat trap. Here's the thing. There's a thing called rat traps, and you can get a rat pretty fucking easily. A roach is like fucking indestructible.
What kind of
One-
roach you?
and if you, here's the thing,
Indestructible.
If you find one,
There's more.
there's
You
more.
have thousands in your walls.
That also could
yeah.
be for rats too, though.
I'm from Brooklyn, New York.
No, those rats are
Okay,
big.
I'm from,
Yeah, your rats are fucking gigantic.
Yeah, they're fucking
Big
monsters.
rats. We're talking about fucking Midwestern rats out here. About that big.
I don't
Oh,
want.
walking it.
No, I'm talking
Again,
about the roaches.
I-
I'm from Brooklyn. I lived with roaches before. I used to live in the Bronx. I lived with roaches before. I could deal with that. But rats into my place,
Yeah,
no.
roaches.
Mm-mm.
Here's the thing. Welcome to Joe's apartment. It's
The-
our
Oh my
apartment.
god.
That's when roaches
And
were cool, man.
And also,
But-
he never said the rat is dead or not. So that rat probably got pissed all over the place. And
now roaches are dirtier than rats.
They are.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have a pet rat potentially.
I guess it boils down to which one would be more easily killed and or caught, right?
That's why I said rat, because like you can set rat traps and kill the
Befriend
rat.
it. Open a restaurant.
However,
The rat trap. I'm going to do Basement's idea. I'll take the rat in the kitchen. I will catch it and I will make it my pet.
And I'll
listen,
use it
I
every
will
night.
admit
Ratatouille, you know,
I
turn-
can
turn-
understand Rachel with the rat.
I know family members will be like, but you know, I will name it Lucifer. For that.
Bring you with you to go to the haunted house.
I'll call it Ratatouille.
I will say this.
I'll put it in my hair.
Rachel, I can understand your fear with the rats, because after seeing New York flood, was that last year or the year before?
Yeah.
I'm
But they're like,
serious.
I
Size of those motherfucking rats. I was like, that
Like
looks
dogs.
like
the thing is,
That looks
they're
like
animals
lava.
though. They have like a
they're
brain.
not animals. They are curses.
No, fucking insects are like disgusting, man. I can't. I couldn't do insects, man.
all
Fuck
I
that
know
shit.
is that the rat that I saw on TV was like the size of my neighbor's chihuahua. No. Mm-mm.
Whatever rat you saw that was
That's
from
it.
New York,
That's a
believe it.
capybara.
okay?
There was a subway rat that was caught in New York that was damn near 20 pounds. Just for them who've never been to New York.
Tank the tank.
Motherfucker looks like Master Splinter. Like he was literally fucking Master Splinter over there.
He's teaching Taekwondo in the fucking sewers.
That's what I'm saying.
Got me
And
fucked
yoga.
up.
And yoga.
Yeah, and Alpha brings up another point. What if the roach is a flying roach?
I just hate.
Oh,
I'm not a big fan of insects. Okay, I don't hate them, but like
either. I don't
Nah.
like insects.
animals are better than insects.
Flying
I'd
roaches.
rather
can
deal with
literally
a
fuck
flying roach. I could spray
And plus,
that
rats have
motherfucker
these
down.
fat asses and look pretty cute.
Rats are adorable, okay?
Fat
Are you
asses.
serious right now?
Rat asses.
roaches. Oh my god! Quick story.
They've got
When we
thumbs
were
and
in-
shit.
A few years ago, when we were in Louisiana, we were staying at my cousin's house, right? And he lives out in the country, and he has this light that's right up right by his door. And we were standing outside. It was me, my mom, and my dad. And we come walking in the house, and my dad goes, "What's on your shirt?" And I thought he was joking with me. I'm like, "Yeah, whatever." He's like, "No, I'm serious. There's something on your shirt." I look down. It's a fucking roach crawling on me. I freak out.
It's a 20-pound rat.
Oh, I freak out and I hit it. Well, I forgot that they have flying roaches down there. So the fucking thing was flying all over the place. So then for the next 2.5 hours, we were trying to fucking catch the goddamn roach. It was not fun. I don't
I
want
hate
to deal with
them.
that ever.
Yeah, I don't like them.
Oh, roaches are fucking. Mm-mm.
Rats are the new goblins.
I hate you.
Green, there. Green.
You were warned he was going to do this through the whole show.
Yeah. Still. That doesn't quell my loathing. I can't even fucking talk. All right, let's see here. So pretty much a lot of people saying basically all rats in the chat.
Yeah,
So
man.
Y'all
Team
don't
rat.
know what y'all asking for.
Well, they got little whiskers and tiny little noses.
I don't want a 20-pound rat. Or if I do, then it's my dog.
We're all gonna fucking get pet rats and name them Ratatouille.
And
I'm gonna get
if you're a serial killer, you got food for your rats.
Or
So
if you
basically,
start to starve, you can eat your rat.
You can name yours Ratatouille. I'm gonna name mine Remy.
I'm gonna name mine Rayshawn.
What?
because he can cook.
Yeah,
Um,
see?
That motherfucker gonna eat up your whole kitchen.
All right, next one. Would you rather have a pause or a rewind button in your life?
Pause.
Oh fuck, that's
That's
Wait, I mean,
tough.
if you pause, can you still move around and do things?
Well, yeah, that's the implication.
Oh my god, the things you could do: rob a bank.
Oh yeah.
Oh shit, that's a good point.
In the mouth, insert the penis and go to town.
Pause button
What?
for sure. I'm going pause button for sure. The amount of
Wait,
things
what
you
did
can get away
JP
with.
say?
He said, "Open the mouth, insert penis, go to
Yeah.
town."
Exactly, and then walk away scot free.
And then walk
Pretty
away,
sure that's considered.
then press play and watch the reaction.
Yeah. Blech.
I'd rather rewind.
Exactly. That's exactly what it would be, and he would be the one to clean it up.
What's those? Why is my mouth all salty all of a sudden?
That actually tastes pretty good.
I'm gonna say the pause button too, because like that, you can fucking rob a bank. You can do so much shit when time has paused for everybody else.
But the thing is, time doesn't pause for you, so theoretically, you're getting older, right?
Yeah, but if you're able to pause and unpause,
I would rewind. Like I would
Right.
rewrite my wrongs and also tell myself to like be
It's
smarter
essentially a
with my money.
Right, but
essentially a
that's
redo button.
right. That's like a redo. Like that. The question
Okay.
is,
Okay,
But
so
that-
if I'm so we in 2022 right now, right?
hmm,
Everything that had happened to me, I would just rewind. I already have that knowledge and just don't do the stuff
You
like
could
this.
basically live a perfect life with the rewind button.
you could, but that's the question. Like, is it just it's like, okay, think of it as like a VCR tape. Is it just like a VCR tape where you rewind and it's still the same
But I think
playthrough
it might fuck you up
going
too,
forward?
because you're rewinding everything. So as soon as one thing changes, butterfly effect, bitch,
Exactly.
something that you
That's it.
actually really liked in your
You
life might be
put
gone.
Way too much thought into these things.
Ah, man, you have
Like
to.
pause it. Hold on. You literally just said I'd rather pause, rob a bank. The cameras are still rolling. Play. They gonna look at it. Oh, it's this
Wow.
guy.
No,
Turn the
whoa,
cameras
whoa, whoa.
off. Turn the
How would
cameras
the cameras
off.
be rolling?
You turn the cameras off
Everything
too.
is paused. The camera recording would be paused also.
Yeah, because like if everything else is paused, then the camera would be paused too, and it would be paused on when you're not fucking in the camera.
Right.
Going into
Also-
a Marvel
or better yet,
But the thing, they're
not-
both amazing
it's not-
superpowers.
even if it's not paused, you can pause it, okay, then go and fuck the cameras up, and then rob the bank and leave, and unpause, and the cameras still aren't going to pick you up.
So you can also,
to the point that you.
No, she pauses it off.
you know what, rewind might be better, because say like a loved one gets into a car accident, rewind, boom,
Well, yeah, I mean,
fix
obviously,
that.
but
then all of a sudden Ashton Kutcher
Hold on,
ends up in a fucking wheelchair.
that's if you
Still
can
don't see what's
change
wrong
it.
with that, but
The question doesn't specify if you can change anything when you rewind. If we
Well,
can
if
change it,
I can pause the world and just stand there stiff, it's useless.
Well, you see, here's the thing. I would use the pause button for when I'm trying to do something for work, and Wendy is trying to also have my entire attention. So it's just like, okay, pause Wendy, do my work.
yeah, I get.
And all of a sudden, Wendy's going, "How did it become nighttime?"
The application of this is it's completely dependent on how we believe the application of this tool would be
Exactly.
and how it would work.
Yeah.
Tim says he's getting time travel headaches.
Oh God, don't fucking no. I need to save that for Avengers Endgame because that's gonna be another fucking headache as it is itself. So no.
I mean, I can go
Um,
with either or. I flip a coin.
all right.
Fuck it.
All right, so last one. Interesting.
Breast implants.
I have to pee so fucking bad.
Speaking of which, would you rather drink from a toilet or pee in a litter box?
You know, litter
Forever?
Yeah, is this forever or just something?
Why did you make it such a permanent thing?
I don't know. Otherwise, who cares? I'll do both.
Absolutely, 100,000% pee.
I would
in a
rather
fucking
pee in a
litter box.
litter box.
Yeah, what's
Yeah.
wrong with that? It's
Fuck
easy. That's
cats.
super easy.
Yeah,
Fuck
it is
cats.
super easy.
Okay, I have to
Fuck
fucking
cats.
pee.
Is the
so
cat
bad.
in
I'll be
there
right
while I'm doing it? I hope so.
I don't care.
Throw a rat in there too, for fuck's sake.
Okay. I'd rather drink from the toilet.
That's where he draws the line.
That one was pretty easy though. If
Yeah, that
it's the way
was.
it is, yeah. Litter box, baby.
All right, give me 1 second. I'll pull up the next one. Let's see here. All right, so we'll come back to some more Would You Rathers in a minute. In the meantime, though, since we were on the topic of, things that might trigger, controversy of the year. transgender swimmer Leah Thomas swims fastest time in the nation.
So
I'm not going to say the joke because it's very plainly there, but
So the most heated issue in swimming this year only emerged in the last 2 months of the year as University of Pennsylvania senior Leah Thomas recorded the fastest times in college swimming in the 200 and 500-yard freestyle, as well as an elite performance in the 1650 freestyle. Those performances caused a stir because of Thomas's status as a transgender athlete. She competed for the Penn men's team for 3 years before completing the required 1 year of testosterone suppression treatment in order to be eligible to compete as a female. At the, I can't believe this is an actual thing, Zippy Invitational in early December, Thomas swam 4 minutes and 34 seconds in the 500 free, 1 minute 41 seconds in the 200 free, and 15:59 in the 1650 free. While she is swimming slower than her lifetime bests from her days on the men's swim team, she has already received, quote, A cuts for the NCAA championships. Her 200 and 500 times are actually faster than the winning times of last year's NCAA championships. This is the Futurama joke right in our, like, right out here.
This is
not even that, it's the State Farm joke.
This is the problem that we like when we first started thinking about, like, okay, trans athletes and where they're going to compete. This is the exact prototypical problem we talked about, because it's
a picture of this one.
It's basically he was a guy that was an athlete specifically in swimming, and he was ranked 460 something of all the men, and in a year he transformed into a woman and is number one. I would like to hear, and I couldn't find it. I'd like to hear what some of his, like, swimming, the people he competed against, what they would actually think of this, because I don't know, man.
There's a video floating around out there of some of the parents. I'm not sure if it's the girl that won second place's parents or what, but there was some of the parents that were there. And they said on camera that they do not believe that it is fair.
It's not.
Well,
if it's picture, basically, can you find the picture of all three?
Oh yeah, I can.
Side by side, because the size difference.
She's a monster.
It's not just the size difference. She now. Sorry for those out there that are pronoun efficient. She is now, she's got a wider shoulder, she's got a flatter chest, and she's got stronger legs. So yes, she does not have the required testosterone to be considered male anymore.
She's also only been a
her
woman
body
for a
structure
year.
is still built to be better and faster in the water than her competitors because of their own natural body part.
Right.
This just falls in this just falls in that category. I think we talked about this before in terms of, like, you know, transgender athletes and where, like, what is considered fair. Like, is it fair? Like, it's not a matter of, like, you know, oh, identify as this person or identify as this. That's all well and good, but now we're getting into the specifics of, okay, well, now there's, like, bigger ramifications about this.
Well, especially if you're gonna end up taking a place, because a lot of this shit you get scholarships for and things like that. If you're gonna end up taking a place for somebody that's tried to get that scholarship, but all of a sudden you went from man to woman at the last moment to fucking get that part. I mean, I don't know.
Here's the fucking size difference here. Look at
this. She's monstrous in comparison.
She's what, 6'10"?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But here's my question.
It's like Shrek.
I put a wingspan on her alone.
I know. There's no hope physically wise. That's the thing.
Here's my question. I watched a video on this yesterday. Like, Nikki J, shout out to Nikki J. He showed me a video on it yesterday, and it's a newscast that was basically talking about this. And basically, the entire newscast was in agreement that something needs to be done as far as, like, maybe putting an asterisk next to their name.
What do you do though? Like, what do you do with this group?
Personally, Me personally, I think that they need to create their own division.
There's not enough competitors.
But that's going to be the only way that it's fucking fair. Either that or you put an asterisk next to their name. Meaning, like, yeah, they won, but this.
They lost because they can't win.
So, do you want to know what I think?
Here's the number one.
What's up?
I think, personally, we should these people in a room and just beat the shit out of all of them.
Okay, no.
No, really, that's not. Look, I personally don't think it's fair. But then if you're saying, we had this discussion, I've actually had to fucking deal with this shit. I'm sure I've told you how the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Look, you can do that, and then you're gonna get the backlash. Well, I'm a girl.
The thing is,
you're gonna get backlash.
He's right.
No matter what you do.
He's right.
Because they identify as a woman.
Right.
They don't want to be put in a separate.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, they don't want to be put in a separate box. They kind of want to fit. They want to fit in.
Then you're stereotyping and discriminating.
Yep.
Okay,
But
so
I do think
put an asterisk next to their name, meaning that they're the winner, but they're not really the winner.
I do think
because you're discriminating against them.
I do think that, like,
Right, but in the meantime, you're discriminating against the regular women that work their fucking entire lives to get
Right.
here.
Yeah.
That's
Damn
what.
if you do, damn if you don't situation.
yeah. I mean, in the end, you're gonna have, like, you can't accommodate everybody and make everybody happy. It's just not possible. The world has tried to get to that point. And I mean, in regular life, whatever, you want to be a man, woman, I don't care. But, like, when it comes down to this type of thing, this is where it's going to be scrutinized, and there's going to have to be a decision made. Because, like, looking at one of those women on the right that ended up in 4th place is probably losing out on something because of that. Meanwhile, like, I mean, you've got Goliath on the left over there.
I know the girl that took 2nd place. She's been working since she was a kid, like a small child.
Well, I mean, it also comes up like he was 460th with the men, and he transitioned, and in a year he's number 1. She's number 1, whatever. It's kind of like, come on, there's got to be something.
And you know what?
An improvement.
The thing is, when you have a transgender person like, what's her name? Fucking Caitlyn Jenner. Caitlyn Jenner came out saying she does not believe that transgender men and women should be allowed to compete.
I think that's the only way to go about it. But then there's going to be that. What are you talking about? I'm a person too. But then again, you know what? You have the handicap Olympics.
Athlete that's saying that, then come on now.
You have the handicap Olympics and you have the regular Olympics. So
She didn't say that she didn't want them to compete. She doesn't want them. She doesn't want a transgender woman competing in the women's division. She wants them competing in the men's division.
Right.
That's where they are most compatible because of their body structure.
I mean, in the end,
So it has nothing to do with body structure. It has everything to do with the hormones.
but also
Right.
if I was grown up as a man and say I'm 25 years old, full grown man, then when I decide to turn into a woman, my body structure is just inherently different than a woman's.
I was just gonna say, like, to me, there is a big difference between, let's say, a 16-year-old kid that started or a 14-year-old kid that started the transition, right? Like, if they haven't quite hit puberty yet and they started the transition, then for me that's a different story. But if they went full-fledged through puberty and turned into Goliath over here, then no, absolutely fucking
Goliath.
No, but if you have someone with, like, the body shape of a big man, basically, and
But you're gonna say of a duck. I don't know why, but
that's going to be retained to an extent, even if you're transitioning.
Right.
So, Aaron, here's where
Most women
gonna
don't
say
grow to be
this.
6'4" with the fucking shoulder length of 3 feet.
So Aaron goes, I 100% agree with Gina. Transgender should be its own division entirely. That will never happen.
Because of discrimination.
Discrimination.
I think that's the best course of action.
In the chat now. And then he said, because in the end, it doesn't matter how fully you go through with making the change to female, your former male genes are still there. So you always be superior to them physically. I'm going to tell you right now, a female swimmer would kick my fucking ass if I was in fucking shape.
But this is the difference.
It has nothing to do with...
But if you go from...
He's been swimming his whole life and transition to... And if he did do this because he couldn't beat men, he's just a full-on pussy.
Well, I mean, I don't think you make that. To me, that's such a drastic choice to make, to just win in something.
Do that.
But
I've seen,
Jussie Smollett.
I've seen in the army. I have seen people do the transition because their PCR test is easier.
I would say that if you are a male athlete that's basically trained your whole life in athletics, whatever that the sport may be or whatever it may be, and then you transition to be a female athlete, you will have a leg up. If you're a fucking Joe Blow that hasn't really done anything and sat around a lot, then it doesn't really matter. I mean, several women can kick my ass. I'm not gonna lie. Anybody that's
most of them I want me to. What?
MMA could probably beat the shit out of me. But this is why this is that specific situation.
He is talking about that specific.
I understand that, but I don't think anybody that doesn't train on swimming and then becomes a woman and then decides to go try out for the women's swim team will make the team.
I can agree with that, yes. But this is not that situation.
So what I'm saying to Aaron is you can't honestly say that.
You kind of almost have to do it by a fucking case-to-case scenario, and that'll never happen.
Okay.
I did want to find out what Tim had to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have it pulled up here. So Tim said, so for the current topic in your chat, the way the volleyball rules work are that there are certain rules for boys playing on girls' teams. However, when there are boys/men who identify / have gone through the testosterone therapy, we as officials haven't been given direction, so they are leaving it up to us. But I saw this problem coming a mile away, and we have to rely on the athletes themselves to self-identify as well. So us as officials were screwed royally. The way we did it this past year in volleyball is that they let them play under women's rules, but that brings inherent risks to players as boys can hit the balls much stronger than the girls can and have perceived advantages over most of the girls playing. Those of you who don't know, Tim does do like refereeing of like various volleyball matches around town, so that's how he obviously knows these rules.
Gathered.
That's fucked, leaving it up to the referee.
That is really fucked.
Yeah,
because they don't want I didn't say that.
And then as soon as like they're like, oh no, that's not allowed. Then it's, oh my god, you're sexist.
Then you have 6'8" Glenda come in and fucking hammer someone to death on the other team.
Glenda.
We'll be right back. I gotta get Bear some water.
Yeah, I've got an aunt named Glenda, man. Come on.
Well, I was thinking of a man's name that could transition to a woman's. Glenn for Glenda.
Glendo. But no, I think I honestly think this is going to be a bigger concern in the next like 10 years.
Yeah,
I think you're gonna see a lot more movies in terms of not movies, a lot more of these moves and stories come out regarding this because
you're gonna see a movie about it and how big of a hero that person was for doing it.
And when she chopped off her dick, everyone screamed. It was great.
You're gonna see a movie about this, and it'll be about how her transition changed her life and made her.
The thing is, right now, it's like they're heroes. They just made a decision. I don't really count that as heroic, really, because there's a lot of things out there that are, I guess, more gonna put them at a higher status. They're gonna treat them special, I guess. And I mean, there's a lot of people that transition don't want to be treated special. They just want to fucking be like, hey, man, I never felt like a guy. I want to be a girl.
I think it's it's brave. I will go that far for sure. But hero.
I don't know.
Well, I mean,
brave.
it's a tough thing.
It's a huge decision to make, and it's a very emotional decision to make.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it brave because who are you being brave for?
Well, I mean, brave in terms of going through the process of it, because you could just easily just like, oh no, I'm not going to do this. I'm just going to sit back and whatever. Or you can go through, like, knowingly going through.
I'd say it's a very impactful decision and a very difficult decision that someone has to make, but I wouldn't categorize it as brave or heroic or any of those. Because it's
heroic's different. Yeah, that.
But brave
I
is still brave is like, I don't know, man. Brave. I got into, like, someone was opening fire on the street and I shoved somebody out of the way and they've lived. That's brave, not turn me into a woman or turn me into a man. That's for yourself.
That's a choice.
Yeah.
I think the person saying or coming out and saying that
in a society that will destroy them, that's brave, yes. But I don't think the society's that way anymore.
Depends on where you live.
Well, I don't think this is. I mean, I think a lot of areas.
live in a huge ass fucking city.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it all depends vastly on where you live, because
So
like,
it can
in
be
my
brave.
area-
It can be brave. I'll give you that.
In my area,
Not so much.
I'm gonna tell you right now, people would be like, "What the fuck is that? A guy or a girl?" And if it's a girl, I'm scared right now.
My name's Glenda.
Well, and unfortunately, in like my area, you still
I
have.
can't keep her tranquilizer.
To be honest with you, the movie Tu Wong Fu, thank you, Julie Newmar, that is the perfect example of the Midwest when it comes to LGBT and the smaller communities.
Yeah. My sister made me watch that. It wasn't that bad.
I honestly have a cousin who does the
Drag queen?
stuff.
Yeah, I knew a guy. I used to work with a guy that does that.
Thing, like, in my area, there's
You
still.
told me my Christmas. I haven't heard shit from him.
Well, he's a.
Okay, yep.
So I
Maybe you fucking hear me.
I went to his drag queen show. Yeah,
I don't care. I don't care personally, but there are people like from this guy, girl thing.
In my area, there's still people of the LGBTQ community that are attacked all the fucking time, and it's unfortunate, but that's just the fucking case of the small
Everybody gets attacked. Black, white,
like,
Asian people. Everybody.
I'm talking about. We are talking about fucking death threats. They get their fucking asses beat if the people
Not
catch
here.
them on.
None of that's gonna happen here.
It's bad here, and it's getting a little bit better with like the younger generation, or so I thought. But we just had a fucking problem with the town over from me. One of their basketball players was fucking sending, or saying like slurs towards a kid that came out as openly gay from another town at a basketball game. During the basketball game, he was pinching the shit out of him to where he left bruises. And not only that,
want
but
to have sex with him. Pinching the shit out of him. What kind of person is this?
Not only that, but the fans, the student fans that were at the game were screaming anti-gay slurs at this kid, and meanwhile the refs, the coaches, all of the fucking adults are just letting this happen. Just letting it happen. Nobody said shit until it became a thing in the paper.
It's crazy
because somebody wrote about it in the paper, and now all of a sudden the principal's trying to fucking backtrack.
It's crazy because if that happened here, like the opposite would have happened. The people screaming that shit would have been escorted off the property, and that's it.
Oh, and yeah, and like that. Because, like, okay, the kid's school.
Also, why are you gonna yell at a fucking kid, man?
Students from the kids' school, they gathered together and they came to the games wearing LGBTQ shirts, trying to support this kid because of what had happened at the last game with the town over from me. And that game is when all the slurs and everything were being thrown out. Oh, and then they even went as far as to, after that game, 4 individuals, like students from the town over from me, decided to follow their bus, pass their bus, and then proceed to spray paint or to pepper their bus with fucking like paintballs. We're all like LGBTQ colored. It's fucking.
I heard that
bad.
team also went back and fucked each other in the ass all night.
It's pretty fucking bad here. It's
Just
shameful.
to say they hate
Yeah, but-
LGBTQ.
But Gina, just piggybacking on what you're saying, like, well, not so much, but everyone gets attacked. Like, I live in New
understand
York,
that,
and
Rayshawn, but
I
you can
go
you can
to a different part of Brooklyn with the color blue on and get shot up because they think I'm Crip.
Yeah, I understand that. I understand that completely, and I agree. But what I'm saying is, in my area, if let's say,
I mean, there's like
we
8
have a bunch
people
of-
that
we
live
have
in
a
that
bunch-
town.
we have a bunch of like Hispanic people in my town. If you're black, you move into the community, and nobody bats an eye. Everybody's nice to you, whatever. But if they find out you're gay, you're a target. That's just the way it is here.
How it is in Jamaica.
For
Not a lot of
a second, Gina's mic cut out for a second on my end anyway, and so for a second I think she said if they find out you're gay, then you're retarded. And I'm like, that doesn't really sound right.
You're a target.
I'm like, I don't think those things go in hand in hand.
Not put together.
I'm not saying it's okay for them to do what they're doing to, you know, the transgenders or the LGBTQ ABC people, but it's not right.
I mean,
not
there
right
has
for
to be
any-
there has to be a solution that is hopefully amicable enough for both sides.
But let me tell you something about that. They still working on. Well, I'm not sure they still working on a solution, but there's still people fighting for a solution for Black rights alone, like equal rights. You know, there's
They actually just passed a bill in Congress, and
But I
couldn't believe that this
don't
was a fucking
trust
thing.
government.
Well, here's the thing.
Is passing a bill gonna fucking do?
Half the
I
time they're
cou-
gonna
I-
fix racism with
The bill,
racism.
though. Listen to this bill. I forget what the name of the bill is, but basically it's an anti-lynching law. And I'm like, wasn't that put into fucking
yeah,
law like
what the
years
fuck?
ago?
In what
Yeah.
way is it okay to hang anybody?
Exactly. I thought that was made into law like years ago because of the Emmett Till situation.
I don't know, man.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. Hanging was the way that they did the death penalty way back in the 1800s.
No, you don't say, JP.
Well, oh, shit.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I had to.
What I'm trying to say is, at
One of the
a
Carradines hung himself.
okay to hang people.
Well, he masturbated.
Yeah, but that's criminals. I mean, like, you know, back then with that argument, I mean, back then certain people thought that it was okay to do it.
Well,
to
it's like
people
death
just because of
sentence.
the color of their skin. But my whole
I
point
mean,
with that was like,
the electrical chair was fucking barbaric too. So
but my whole point with that was I thought that there was an anti-lynching law that went into effect fucking years and years, like decades ago.
honestly, the world
Why are
just
we passing
seemingly
another one?
the world just seemingly repeats.
Yeah.
So
Over and over
we have
again.
we have a civil rights act, but we still have civil rights issues, right?
Yeah.
The government just tries to put a band-aid. Well, they're putting a band-aid on it. That's all they're doing.
Rayshawn, you got remember the review?
Oh my God.
yeah.
This is the colored printer, and this is the white printer.
Oh my
It's
God.
better.
Yes.
It makes colored copies.
That show.
What
is
if,
so
what if I want to color?
I love
So
that
good.
show.
I love that
my God.
Oh
episode.
my
It's
God.
so
Today we're
good.
gonna try cocaine. So great.
It was.
Oh my god.
Anybody out there that's listening, if you have not watched the show The Review, you have to fucking watch it.
It's good stuff.
It's pretty funny.
So funny.
Puts
Well, that
himself
being-
in predicaments. You have to cheat on your wife.
Oh my God, that
You have
was.
to get divorced.
You
Have a
to get
sex
divorce.
tape.
Have to get a divorce. What's it like to get a divorce?
I remember the guy always come up to him and was like, "Remember you told me the story about penicillin?" It's like, what the fuck?
Yo,
It never applies
with the
everywhere.
ball, that
Oh,
ball,
man.
the ball.
Oh,
Where
that
tells
was
you what to
that
do.
was fucking
Oh my
dumb.
God.
That was one of the best
Get
episodes.
me out of here. Get me out.
Oh my god, that
But
was a
one
great
of the best
episode.
ones for me, I don't remember what the episode was called, but when they got in that fucking car chase with the other person. What episode was
Oh,
that?
yeah, I remember that. Road Rage one?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Didn't he do one where he was a racist or whatever?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
like-
that was
Yeah,
the
he's
one
like,
where he
"Oh,
labeled the
turns out
printers.
it actually was racist.
He labeled the printers as.
You didn't get here in a basketball scholarship? No, I did not.
Look
Oh.
at me, Forrest.
He was clowning on that black friend that he
Oh,
had.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Great.
So,
All right.
but anyway,
yeah, let's put
we're
this
gonna
trans thing
switch-
to rest.
we're gonna switch the gears over to everyone's favorite subject to talk about: pro wrestling.
Goblins. Oh.
Yeah, fuck off. So, the first one is, of course, not. It made headlines. Obviously, it was very sudden and very unexpected and tragic news. The passing of Scott Hall, aka Razor Ramon. So, what really dumbfounded me about this was the fact that literally it came out of left field. Like I remember, I think it was either Meltzer or somebody else said like, "Oh, by the way, Scott Hall's on life support." It's like, what the fuck? And then like just everything went to shits. So for those of you who don't know what happened to him, Scott had apparently a pretty nasty fall in the fall, no pun intended, and it damaged his hip to the point where he needed hip replacement surgery. He had already had hip issues. If you've seen any of this stuff with DDP Yoga, you'll know that this is something that's been going on for quite a while. So he went in for their surgery, and unfortunately, in the course of the surgery, he developed a blood clot that traveled all the way to his heart and gave him 3 heart attacks, almost consecutively, from what I've read. And he already has a pacemaker in there, so it didn't really bode well for him. So this past Monday, he was taken off of life support around 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And unfortunately, just prior to, I think around like 8 or 8:30 in that evening, he passed away. He fought for 8 hours, and I remember like the world being kind of like in disbelief and kind of suspense and hoping that maybe he would kick out of it, but unfortunately, it was not the case. Hugely tragic. Obviously, his accolade speaks for himself. 2-time Hall of Famer, Intercontinental U.S. Tag Team Champion. The list goes on and on. I guess favorite Razor moment, or not Razor, but either Razor Ramon, Scott Hall. I mean, any fun. I mean, God, there's so many, from NWO to everything in between. I mean, good Lord. Fun. I think he's one of the most successful non-world champions in wrestling history.
He is like the pinnacle of the best mid-card you could imagine.
Yeah.
He should have been a main eventer, to be honest. But
Honestly,
Yeah.
when I
Happened.
think of when I think of like heel, Scott Hall is definitely like one of the first
when I think of
names
mid
that I
card,
think of
think of
because he's a bad guy. You know?
when I think of mid card, I think of Shawn Michaels and him, for the most part.
I was just about to say something with that. I wasn't always. Let me correct that. I was not a fan of Scott Hall, and I'm not saying it in a negative way. I just,
Mhm.
oh, that's ScottAll. Okay.
Yeah.
Versus,
I
you
was
know what I'm
kind of
saying?
the same, to be honest.
I came
But-
into wrestling like way after his like heyday. I can understand what you're saying because at
Same.
first I was kind of like, "Oh, Razor Ramon, I've heard of him. I don't know who he is." And then I watched a couple of his matches, and I'm like, he's okay." I didn't really start appreciating him until later.
Yeah, I enjoyed the match at WrestleMania 10. I enjoy his feud with Shawn Michaels. I enjoy WrestleMania 18 with him and Stone Cold. I was not a WCW fan, so I don't know much about NWO.
Okay.
So
I grew up watching Scott Hall. As you all know, he had alcohol and drug issues. And if you've ever seen his documentary that he did, the reason why he had those problems, because he killed somebody and he couldn't deal with the pain of what he did. Even though
It was an accident.
it was an accident and of self-defense.
Right.
He's
So
haunted.
he could not deal with the pain or the
guilt.
the guilt that he had, so he turned to alcohol and drugs. Now, many of you, I have stated, he did put a lot of his issues on himself. He did have friends that could help him, but he thought that drugs and alcohol were more important and were the only things that could fix him. So I will caveat everything that I say with, he put a lot of the issues on himself. That being said, Scott Hall was one of the best workers to ever put on and lace up boots. He made everybody around him look good. Even Shawn Michaels, Rayshawn. He made Shawn Michaels who he was. If it wasn't for Razor Ramon, Shawn Michaels would not be the showstopper. I'm sorry. I wholeheartedly believe that.
I agree.
His NWO days, he was the NWO.
I also agree. I was going to say that. Yes, I agree.
He was the first one that showed up. I watched WCW Monday Nitro live that night. And I'm like, this motherfucker was just on fucking WWF last week.
Yep.
What the fuck is he doing here? And this is when it got really good, and which I'm watching now. I got past that. So I'm rewatching the Attitude Era stuff and the WCW Nitro stuff. That night he came out there and he goes, you know who I am, but you don't know why I'm here. Which in turn flipped the channel. Everybody was watching Nitro because they wanted to see what they were doing. It was because of Scott Hall is the reason that WCW wasn't Eric Bischoff. It wasn't Hulk Hogan, because Hulk Hogan wasn't getting.
Hulk Hogan was like an add-on
he was a part of it. He was a part of it. So people were like, yeah, we'll check it out. I mean, it's these same guys. As Hulk Hogan is wrestling, he's gonna hold the title forever.
NWO fit Scott Hall so well. Like, it was him.
Yep. Him and Kevin Nash, they were so good.
Yeah.
Kevin Nash.
It's like Triple H and Shawn Michaels for DX.
Yeah.
Right. They were essentially, and they kind of did cut that promo where the Clique runs this business. If you remember Shawn Michaels saying that one night, and Kevin Nash and Scott Hall that night did the into the camera, the Too Sweet thing. So everybody sits here. The Bullet Club started that. You are incorrect, sir.
Said that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh
Scott
my
Hall.
god. It pains me to know that there's people that believe the Bullet Club started that.
No.
They kept it going.
People don't understand. Do you want to know? I'm going to tell you what the Bullet Club is. You know what the Bullet Club is? It's the NWO.
It is. It's the newer, more bad version of the.
It's a
NWO.
wannabe. Let's be real.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of what came out of that are a lot
It's
of
the NWO without.
Hold on, I like the actual Bullet Club over in New Japan, but
it's like everybody's
Young
Dolph
Bucks-
Ziggler.
Yeah.
They want to be a wrestler that they liked that they're not as good as.
Yeah.
So I obviously am a super wrestling nerd, and I've watched everything from way back in the day. I watched Scott Hall stuff when he was in the AWA with Vern
Me
Gagne.
too.
When he was,
That's why I said I'm like, and then I looked at, holy fuck, that is the guy that he was tag team partners with Shawn Michaels.
And he look
and
like
Kurt Hennig.
his look
He
was
was tag
so
team partner.
different back then too. Holy
Oh yeah,
shit!
with
He
the
went through,
mustache and the
he went through
mullet.
like
Yeah.
the Sting treatment.
Yeah, he looked like
Joe Exotic on steroids.
Burt Reynolds.
He had a handlebar, right?
No, not Magnum PI.
He had a
looked
handlebar
like
mustache, I swear.
He looked like that guy. He looked like
I know who you're talking about, but Scott Hall, obviously, I think not just for the obvious accolades that he's done with just like the ladder match with Shawn, the NWO, not just in the in-ring accolades, but there's a lot of things like behind the scenes, and I think that if you get a chance to sit down and listen to some of Scott's interviews or his contributions to documentaries, he probably has one of the best minds for the wrestling business as well.
I got one more thing that I want to say, and I'm probably stealing your thunder, and I apologize. This thing that you see today, go ahead. Go ahead.
If it wasn't for Scott Hall, we never would have gotten the Crow sting.
Right.
You wouldn't get the sting that you have today at all.
Correct. It was Scott's idea when Sting was in the middle of transition, saying, "You seen that movie, The Crow? You should do that." I'm paraphrasing, obviously, but that's basically the idea. But not, that idea. He had ideas for like the survey says with the NWO, where he'd have like people. He goes, people were obviously cheering for the NWO, so we didn't want to have people like force them to boo us. So we did the survey says to get people riled up and interacted. So just it's tragic because.
He was a man built for wrestling. Not a man just ended up wrestling. You know what I mean? Like he had it all down pat in terms of like playing the mic, being able to perform. He had the charisma in the ring, tell a story in the ring, tell a story out of the ring.
Just look at the gift that's going around, or the video that's going around, where he gets a fucking drink thrown in his hair, and he just like nonchalantly flicks it back and just keeps fucking going.
I mean, he had so many great ideas, and he just like little things and little nuances of coming through the crowd that night on Nitro. That was different. It set him apart, which that was actually a conversation between him and Larry Zbyszko. It was Zbyszko's idea to do something a little bit different. But anyway, the point is that like it's just obviously well-deserved accolades. It's a tragic story. The one thing I will say was that I'm glad he was able to kind of get his life back to the point where he was
before his life was done.
Amazing at the Hall of Fame ceremony.
And he had a great speech at that ceremony.
I mean, the great line, the great speech, hard times, what was it? Hard times don't last. Dreams come true. Yep, dreams come true. Bad times don't last, but bad guys do. I mean, it's a fucking it's a great line. Great one. So rest in peace, Scott Hall. Just
he's
tragic,
part of
but
all of our fucking wrestling lives.
He's somebody that will always live on through wrestling because he transcended.
Oh, he's in the history books. Yeah,
he is a transcender of the business. You see so many people that do certain things, such as fucking Jon Moxley walking out of the crowd. I mean, as you said, he was one of the first people to do that. So you might not have seen Jon Moxley doing that, or fucking Shawn Michaels wouldn't be elevated to the point where he was. There's so many people that either copy things that he did, or their careers were elevated because of him.
And what pisses me off the most is he was like the pinnacle of having the mid card pretty much be as important as the main card.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just gone away with, and it just angers me because look how successful things were with that.
The match between him and Shawn Michaels, the ladder match.
The SummerSlam one or the WrestleMania one?
WrestleMania one.
First one that they did. That is the greatest ladder match of all time. You can never top ladder match. You can try, not going to.
Because the other really good matches that involve ladders are TLCs, to be honest.
Yeah. The thing about that ladder match,
the problem is today they don't use the ladder until the end of the match.
Oh, the problem with ladder matches.
And the focus isn't the ladder, it's the two guys in the ring.
Well, the problem is every ladder match is multi-man. Sorry, Gina.
Not only that, but the problem with the ladder matches these days is they're very staged, and you can tell how staged they are.
They put up a table on the outside and just leave it there for fucking 7 hours. Like,
Yeah.
this is that moment we're gonna
Like,
fall out of the
We'll
ring.
never use that table again.
The last actual like really good ladder match I watched was that one from NXT a few years ago. that we
Yeah,
watched
Shawn
the
Michaels
Elevation.
produced, I think.
Yeah, and that one was really good because you couldn't tell that it was staged. I mean, obviously a lot of the spots were staged, but you couldn't tell that they were.
Well, my question is, why does a ladder match always have to be multi-man? You could do it 1-versus-1 ladder match and have a good match.
Because they don't know how to produce their matches anymore,
They've really moved away from
or
that shit.
overproduce them to the point where they're so fucking boring.
No, you don't, Connor. You don't see what I do.
Yeah, I do. It's another sad passing in the world of wrestling.
Yeah.
But that is not the only piece of wrestling news that we're going to talk about. Now, it's funny because originally, I think when this was brought up, it was a rumor, but has now apparently been confirmed, I believe, as of today. So, once former EVP of AEW, Cody Rhodes, is now going back to WWE.
What a surprise. The turncoat turned again. What a surprise.
So Cody Rhodes kind of made a lot of headlines when he was announced, or he announced that he was departing AEW with Brandy. Seemed to come out of left field. We weren't really anticipating this since obviously he was one of the founders of fucking AEW.
He wasn't a founder. He fucking latched onto the nipple.
Debatable, but in any case, being one of the founding people of AEW and or nipple latcher of AEW, he was kind of like, ride or die, and and so many things like kind of obviously grounded and tied him to that company.
He came out fucking destroying a throne, dressed as Triple H.
I was gonna get there, yeah. And then, seemingly out of left field, he was leaving. So it's like everyone's like, oh, what the heck's going on? Now, there wasn't rumors for a while, and then things got kind of quiet, and then all of a sudden, it was like a week after, it's like, oh, he's going back to WWE, which that was just like, whoo. Glad I don't follow a lot of people on Twitter anymore. I'll put it that way. So now it seems to be confirmed that he's. I'm just saying that the only thing I was going to say was it seems like it's now confirmed that he's going back to WWE. So on that being said, I'm going to take a giant step back and let everybody have their fun with this.
The one thing I have to say, I wouldn't have put this as like a talking point, to be honest, until I clicked on the Twitter link for this and saw the myriad of fucking people losing their shit about him going from one company to the other. You betrayer! You're the worst! Yeah, they did everything for you! It's like, holy fuck.
The only way that I'm going to be okay with Cody going back, because ultimately it's his choice, where he goes where the money is, and based on, you've said it before, he fucked himself in AEW as soon as he took himself out of the fucking main card title.
We all said it was a terrible move.
Exactly, but the only way I'm gonna be okay with this, as far as being all right, I can get behind this, is if he comes back and there's somehow some sort of I don't want to see Triple H in the ring again. But if Triple H comes back,
didn't he have 700 attacks or something?
Right, but if he somehow comes back in a I don't know, managerial point, or even just a backstage Vince type role,
he could be a GM.
I would love to see. I would love to see Cody Rhodes going head to head with Triple H as far as that type of role. I don't want to see them in the ring together. I never want to see that. Triple H can't fucking do it anymore. But as far as lash against authority type thing, that's the only way I'm going to accept this.
I accept it. Because it happens everywhere.
I shouldn't say accept it, because obviously I accept it. Whatever he does, he's going to get money, whatever. I should say be able to get behind it.
I mean, I was pissed about Kenny Omega going to AEW because I was like, hey, if he went to WWE, it would have been better for him and probably AEW as a whole if he left them after a couple of years, to be honest. But whatever. That's where the cards lie. I mean, Cody Rhodes he's really a WWE talent. Like, he wrestles WWE style. And I will say he's arguably one of the top talents that AEW has because he can do it all.
Or if he were to go back to WWE and do like the American Nightmare.
No, give me Stardust or give me Death.
Oh, like
Still fit, pal.
like do the American Nightmare gimmick, but like do it as a legacy of his father, which is what he was doing in AEW. But that's something that should have been done in WWE in general, to begin with, in my opinion.
I really don't think his gimmick should change at all.
Right, stay the American Nightmare. That's what I'm saying. Like,
capitalize on the popularity, and he likes that. So fuck, why not? Just shoot Brandy in the face and leave her off the show.
She's not going to be.
She's not going to be involved.
That's exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I don't care.
I don't want to see Brandy do anything.
Telling everybody that Cody Rhodes is the greatest ever. He's a mid-carder at best.
He could be a main eventer. He could be a main eventer.
Came out and said he's not the superstar his dad was. He isn't even the superstar his brother was.
I don't know about that second statement.
Yeah.
The first statement, I agree with.
I do not think that Cody Rhodes is
I think Cody Rhodes is better. I'd rather watch a Cody Rhodes match than a Goldust match. Let's just say that.
I think that if they let Cody Rhodes go and they actually work with him as far as like what he wants to do with his gimmick, I think he could be.
That's never happening.
I could see good matches with AJ Styles. It might not be for the belt, but I could see a couple good matches with him with higher level talent. He might not be wrestling for the main championship because obviously he's not. Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns are the only two that are going to hold that forever. But everybody below that, Seth Rollins, those guys, I can see him being in that tier.
Yeah, he's going to have some kick-ass matches no matter what.
He's going to have a match at WrestleMania, which is when he's coming back, and he's going to be with Seth Rollins. If you had been paying attention to Raw,
but that's where I believe he will live. In that higher tier, but not top tier.
Yeah,
you know
like,
what I mean?
Kind of like in between main event and mid card.
WWE they're going to capitalize on him going from AEW to WWE, and it's going to take about 3 or 4 weeks, and he's going to be right, and he's going to be Brock Lesnar. He's going to be sitting in the back and catering.
Well, I mean, no, I think he like.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
He's going to get the same treatment that Drew McIntyre had got.
Yeah.
When he returned.
No way. Yeah.
I don't see it.
I mean, I don't see him. He might have a feud at one point with Lesnar or Roman Reigns in like one of those offshoot pay-per-views because they have to fill the gap. Like, he's going to be used like Kofi Kingston kind of, or any of those guys that were kind of like fillers if he's going to be a championship holder, unless he takes it another step up. And I don't know, like, he took it a step up in AEW. I don't see him doing that again.
Honestly, he didn't take a step up in AEW though. He didn't. If you think about it, where he took a step up when he was in ROH in New Japan. That's where the American Nightmare gimmick.
Well, I mean, I'm saying from like Stardust to where he ended up being, I guess. Wherever that happened, I guess. So if it did happen in ROH in New Japan, then I apologize.
The difference between Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes
is one is a massive giant.
Drew McIntyre had it. It was just way too soon.
Well, Drew McIntyre also has the prototypical WWE look that they want, and he's actually really mobile and good in the ring.
You know what? You never fucking know though, because you have guys like AJ Styles who started out in WWE and then was fired, went to New Japan, and he look at what he came back as.
I think he'll get the AJ Styles light treatment. He won't get the AJ Styles treatment. No way, no how.
Here's my problem. If Cody was going to come back, and I understand contracts and all this stuff, but like, if he was going to come back, me personally, I would have rather have seen him debut at the Rumble.
Too sweet.
Yeah. Yep.
Because for me, that's where new stars or returning stars
Did you kiss
should
him
be
afterwards?
fucking coming back is the Rumble.
Yeah, well, I mean, WrestleMania I accept too. Like the Hardys
I
came
mean,
back at
me
WrestleMania.
and
That
Cody
was a
are
huge pop.
biffles, so I'll put in a good word with everybody.
But
Yeah, just
Re-
tell him
okay.
that I hate him.
real quick, real quick.
I don't really
Yeah.
I want to know what you guys' thoughts, and I know that I know a lot of people on this call do not like Marco Stunt. I get it.
Oh, I know
But
where
I
you're going
want
with
to
this.
know. I want to know you guys'
who?
thoughts on what happened with Joey Janela. Like Joey Janela left AEW now, which honestly he needed
I mean,
to.
a
because
couple
it's
people have
just
left
not his fucking-
AEW because it's
but, like-
oversaturated, right? And you're not going to
No,
get your
right.
chance.
Right, but here's the thing. Joey Janela, after he left AEW, he actually spilled on a podcast. I'm not sure which one. Maybe Connor does. Or maybe Connor knows. But he spilled his guts on a podcast, and he basically said that AEW basically ghosted Marco Stunt.
Well,
They did the
my
same thing to
God.
Chavo.
Yeah.
I heard a couple
That's
things.
another really, really good example, because Chavo was told that he could leave and go film this movie, and then all of a sudden they ghosted him.
I've heard
This
a
is the second
Moved him
athlete
from
that
the
they've
alumni
done it.
page and everything. He tweeted out, "Well, that's news to me. I thought I had a job when I came back from my movie."
I've heard a couple
Right,
things
so that's
about
the second
AEW.
one that they've done.
And-
AEW is the greatest thing since Wonder Bread.
No, I mean I've heard a couple things, and one of the main ones was like comparing AEW to WWE. They're like WWE micromanages too much. AEW doesn't do any management, so it's like you kind of
Yeah.
you want to be like put in a position to grow, but it's like in AEW you're only going to grow if you get over, and WWE you're only going to grow if we decide you get over. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I mean, they're equally not great in terms of that, but yeah, the idea of them like ghosting talent and being like, "Yeah, we're done with you." I mean, like Marco Stunt.
That's not looking good.
Marco Stunt. I like didn't he like actively say he's pursuing a different career or something?
Well, he was like singing, and stuff, but like he didn't know that his wrestling career was over, and neither did Chavo.
Because I think the management is just terrible in AEW. I don't think they have like
There's no communication.
it's
There's
wrestlers managing wrestlers managing wrestlers. And then there's Tony Khan, who looks like Kramer.
Who is just giddy about fucking everything, pretty much. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, and Joey Janela, that was just one thing that I picked up off of the podcast with Joey Janela, but I guess he really fucking opened up and spilled a lot of his guts about what's going on behind the scenes over at AEW, and it's not good.
No, I mean,
No, it was a great company
If it-
though.
When wrestlers decide to become owners and then sit there and hire on a fucking wrestling fan as their head figure.
well, here's the biggest problem. They just decide to sign everybody and anybody that gets released from WWE, essentially turning their roster into WWE wrestlers or people that wrestled for a WWE last, let's say. They're also ROH talent and shit like that. But the core wrestling group that they started with is like nowhere to be seen.
Name me an AEW wrestler that was in WWE that's better off now than they were in WWE.
Probably Miro. I think he's doing a bit better.
Well, Miro's not being showcased anymore.
No, he's doing worse.
He hasn't for a long time. He hasn't been being.
He's
I
dead.
haven't seen him on.
He's dead.
Since he lost the TNT title, I have not seen him on TV not one time.
I still
Maybe
don't
on
know why they
Dark,
went for like
but I don't
Keith
watch
Lee.
Dark.
I don't know
Oh.
why they went for Keith Lee and these guys. Like you have enough talent. You really don't need to keep signing people. It's like
That's why I believe another fucking news article from wrestling. And again, I'm not trying to turn this into a wrestling show, but this past week, Killer Cross signed with New Japan, and I think that was the smartest fucking thing he could have possibly done.
But also, they have a lot of like people that are like, I'm semi signed with AEW, yet I can do whatever I want. I like in the end, the best way to do it is you sign the talent. The talent are there for your shows, and that's that. Yeah, you might have a tier of talent that comes and goes, but at least the people you want and you keep. I don't know. I don't know. It's just like they're signing everybody. They have the roster the size of fucking
Yeah,
Canada.
they really do. But yeah, I had to throw those two little things in there and see what you guys' thoughts were on that.
AEW, and also, I don't care what anybody says. They shit on WWE for like being like, hey, Braun Strowman, he's green, let's push him to the moon. Hey, Jade Cargill, she's green as fucking shit, push her to the moon. The same fucking thing.
Yeah, but they
She's on a
blind, bro.
undefeated streak right now.
She is.
The women's
That's
division in AEW is a mess. It was a mess from the get-go. It's a mess now.
Well, here's the thing. They did just make a really good move, in my opinion, for the women's division, and they put the belt on
the woman that can actually wrestle instead of fucking Britt Baker, who doesn't understand. Like, I mean, she couldn't understand a sale if she saw one fucking 50% off in her face. She doesn't know how to sell anything.
But not even just that. They waited to put the belt on her until she was in her hometown.
That makes sense. Capitalize. From
Well,
a business
yeah.
perspective.
Had
Right?
her face Britt Baker 6 times.
Oh,
And they gave her wait until she was in her hometown to win the belt.
I mean, the hometown thing makes sense. The 6 times, I don't agree with. Britt Baker is terrible. Let's just be real.
Wait,
Well,
they
and here's
fought
the thing,
6 times and nobody even said anything about the rematches?
Oh, people
It's
were.
not bad by AEW, man.
People were. But the thing is, like, I watch AEW. I still enjoy AEW. I watched the pay-per-view this past, like, couple weeks or whatever. I still enjoy it. I do. But the thing is, what I'm seeing consistently with AEW is they have this large roster, but I'm seeing the same people. Like, the people that are their it people are great.
But
Jungle
that's-
Boy, Luchasaurus, fucking all these people that you see all of the time. If they're a hit, then they're a fucking hit.
It's
But the
almost
problem
like...
with
But
that-
we're different.
But the problem is they're not exactly.
Same fucking people.
It's almost like featuring
Exactly.
the people that make money for your company is the way your company's going to have to work.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you hire all these new talents.
I
What's
don't
the
know
point of
why they're
hiring the
doing
new
that.
talent? What's the point of hiring the new talent if you're not going to give them a chance? Like, you have the same people.
Basically, they
wrestling
hired the new
every-
talent to release the
Chances.
old talent that is terrible.
They get chances, but it's on AEW Dark, which is only on YouTube.
Yeah, and instead of like firing, like being a man about it and firing the people that they no longer want, they just ghost them.
Oh, they don't want to fire nobody. They don't want to look like WWE.
No, they
Well,
released them.
there's been a lot of wrestlers like behind the scenes that have just walked. Nobody would have realized that Joey Janela fucking wasn't working for the company anymore if he wouldn't have fucking come out and said something.
The thing
He hasn't
is,
been on TV in what, a year?
Exactly.
the thing is that they're not really gonna like. They'll never really be that different than like how different is fucking Amazon Prime from Netflix? They're not, right? Like it's always gonna be there's gonna be drastic similarities. What they tried to make different, I think they really need to refine because it doesn't seem like. I mean, the idea
The
of
point system is done. It's like that's done. They don't even
Yeah.
go by that anymore.
because they can't book. They just
Yeah.
can't book. Booking is a very difficult job. It's probably the most difficult job in wrestling, except for wrestlers who wrestle all the fucking time. But booking and making it intelligent is going to be very difficult, and
When
it just
you-
doesn't happen for any company.
When
Hell, I
you
tried doing it with NAW, and even that was a struggle.
Yeah,
right? But when you have the problem is, Young Bucks are 2 of the VPs of the company.
the Young Bucks
And
are
when you
fucking
have-
trash. I
Here's the
dislike
thing,
them
when
so
you
much.
have-
I used to like them.
When you have 2 VPs of a company that are putting themselves as headliners almost every fucking week, that's a problem for me.
But this was
What
like
was the first thing we said when they came
this
out
was
and
writing
said
on the
it?
wall for AEW. Like you have too many big egos that think they're better than they are, and they're gonna write themselves to succeed because in the end of the day, is the
Cody was
company
the
more
only one
important?
that didn't do that.
Well,
He was
but-
the only one that didn't do
and he
that.
left
Yeah.
because everybody else did it. He's like, you know what? This is not all for the fucking AEW brand. No, we're all in it for ourselves. So I'm out.
Well, I don't want to take too much of my time because the last time I brought up something wrestling, we were here for like 3
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
hours. So I don't want to. I want to keep it moving along.
In the end,
but-
I do look forward to seeing him in WWE. I'm not I'm not the fan I used to be. I'll watch the pay-per-views. I'll even check out the AEW pay-per-view every now and then, or New Japan. But none of this. Like, I'm more of a fan of
HG Dub, HG Dub, HG Dub.
I'm
Track
more of
for champ.
I'm more of a fan of wrestling than I am a fan of wrestling fans fucking laboring over numbers and weird shit that has nothing to do with wrestling.
Don't get him. I
yeah,
don't even get started on that whole.
The ratings are getting.
Yeah, the ratings war that literally nobody gives a shit about unless you have money in the business. And if you don't, and you're spending all your time looking at the ratings, maybe get a job or a life.
Okay, now.
Probably.
There's an outside. It's not just a picture on your wall. That's your window. You're looking outside. Go
Grab
there.
a tit. Grab a tit every once in a while.
Yeah,
besides
maybe
your
grab
own-
two.
besides your
I
own.
mean, don't just grab one.
With consent.
Suck a dick every now and then.
You know?
What?
Well, if you're a woman,
Anyway.
I mean, wrestling fans are women too. Or if you're a gay man,
right
Jussie
there.
Smollett.
For the love of God, will somebody throw a pie? So the last story we wanted to just briefly touch on, then we'll do a couple more Would You Rathers, then we'll wrap up this week's episode. Kanye West is apparently banned from performing at the Grammy Awards, despite the fact that he has 5 nominations. Kanye West has been prohibited from performing at the Grammy Awards. Excuse me, I don't know why I said People Awards. Grammy Awards.
Did you say People Awards? I thought you said Grammy.
Yeah, I thought you said Grammy too.
It's been a long night, all right? There's so much shit going on, and I'm out of medication. Kanye West has been prohibited from performing at the Grammy Awards. His rep confirms to People the decision to prevent the 44-year-old rapper from taking the stage at the award show was made due to his, quote, concerning online behavior. According to the outlet, West's latest online antics involving Trevor Noah, who is hosting this year's show on April 3rd, were a factor in the decision-making process. On Wednesday, West was reportedly locked out of his Instagram account for 24 hours for hate speech, harassment, and bullying after he allegedly wrote a racial slur on Noah's Instagram page. The alleged comment was made after Daily Show host waited on the West split from Kim Kardashian, who was recently declared legally single.
What? Legally single? Oh, I guess.
She's no longer married to Kanye West.
Well, they're
Right.
still technically
I didn't
married.
see this one happening.
Still technically married, but the divorce is like in finalization process. Like basically he's fighting her every fucking step of the way for this divorce because he doesn't want it. So she had to go through and she had to have the judge declare her legally single.
Kanye West's psychotic, but Kim Kardashian is like a
Dumb
human.
as shit.
She's a human pogo stick. Just jumps from
Here's-
one dick to the
The
next.
thing though, she's not dumb as shit. She's actually really
I didn't say she was
fucking
dumb. I
smart.
said she was a whore.
Oh, super whore, but she's super fucking smart.
Oh, super whore. Give her a cape and shit.
Like, just this shit, like, okay, so he went, like, Connor, you were saying he went after Trevor Noah, which had a deciding factor in his Grammy performance.
Trevor Noah? Who the fuck is Trevor Noah?
The new host of the Daily Show.
The new host of The Daily Show.
What the fuck is the Daily Show?
He's a comedian. Oh, I fucking hate you. You know
What
what
the
the
fuck
Daily
is
Show
comedian?
I hate you.
What is a Green Goblin?
The only goblin you have to concern yourself with.
So
He's
obviously,
a little girl that thinks he's funny, but it's not.
Trevor
obviously-
Noah is a late night show guy?
he's
No.
a Daily Show host.
Oh, a day show guy?
My God.
He's a
You
guy.
know who Trevor Noah is. I fucking hate you so bad.
He's that guy. He's like white black, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
The guy with
Uh,
the hair.
White, black.
The guy that has no personality. He's like fucking Coachman.
I actually liked him when he was I don't really care for him too much now because like he did turn super liberal, but I actually enjoyed him when he was a comedian. Like before he like hit stardom and stuff, he was actually pretty funny.
He's
Was he?
He's actually doing the show that Jon Stewart used to do on Comedy Central.
Yeah.
It's not a late night show. It's on. At
Thank you,
10
Tim.
o'clock.
I feel blessed.
But anyway, so obviously his comments to Trevor Noah sparked this whole new controversy with the Grammy Awards, but the shit that he has been saying to Pete, what is his name? Pete Davidson?
Pete Davidson is another fucking whore. Like this guy is like dipping his dick
The
everywhere.
shit that, like, the shit that Kanye has been sending him is just because like Pete Davidson finally had enough and he released the text messages publicly and the shit that Kanye was saying, like he could get terroristic threats.
Terroristic? Is that a word?
I'm not even kidding. He's actually gone as far as to like fucking threaten
with terror
Davidson. So like that, yeah. But if you send any kind of terroristic or any kind of like threatening message to somebody of like bodily harm, that is considered terroristic threats.
No, that's not terror.
That is. Look it up in the law books. It is fucking terroristic threats. That's what they.
I don't even think terroristic is a word.
I hate you so much right now. Anyways, like it's pretty bad, and Kanye. This just proves further for me that Kanye has just fucking completely lost his shit. He's a mental fucking basket case.
Is he even Kanye anymore? I thought he changed his name to Ye. The artist formerly known as Kanye.
Yeah, Ye.
Jesus or something.
People with money is
just launched.
These people with money has no brains.
Yeah, they're just absolutely brain dead.
Well, you know, the thing is, like Kim Kardashian, I made an argument about her being smart earlier because she actually is a really smart businesswoman, but she makes her money by acting dumb.
Terroristic is a word.
I told you, I fucking hate you so bad.
That's something me and Kim Kardashian have in common.
I hate you.
Oh my god.
Make my money by being dumb.
Like fucking Kanye, calm your tits. Like, Jesus Christ.
This man needs to go to a doctor and get on some medication because he is full on narcissistic, bipolar, fucking. He's a mess.
So is Pete Davidson.
Yep.
Davidson is just a fucking sex machine, apparently.
You know, here's the thing. I just feel I can't help but feel horrible for Kim and Kanye's kids because their dad is.
I don't really care about the kids. Fuck the kids.
Here's the thing. Like Kanye even went as far as to like buy the house across the street from fucking Kim.
They got all the money in the world, man. Send those kids to Ecuador.
Could have bought a house anywhere. He chose to buy a house across the street from his soon-to-be ex-wife, and he's claimed that it was for his kids. But the way that he is acting, it is not saying it is for his kids. It's because he wants to fucking harass his ex-wife, and meanwhile, the kids are caught in the middle of it.
And he's
terroristic? Did you think terroristic was a word, Tim? Sorry.
He's even gone far enough to say he doesn't want his black children being raised by a white woman when she's not white, she's Armenian.
I'm just talking about Pete Davidson.
I hate you.
I'm gonna mute basement. Wait, shit, he's in control of the stream.
Yeah.
But he's not in control of the description anymore. So, with that being said, we have a couple more would you rathers, and then we'll kind of wrap it up here for this week's No Bucks Given. We appreciate everybody tuning in with us. So,
I want to quickly agree with Tim. Let's start a fund to buy basement a dictionary.
Why'd you have to say it like that? Like that dictionary?
I never heard the word terroristic before.
I fucking hate you so much right now.
I'm just saying, I never heard it. Don't hate me because I don't know. I'm naive. A child.
I hate you.
Can we ask a question?
Naive is a word?
It is a word.
Would you like to buy a vowel?
Would you rather take amazing selfies but look terrible in all other photos, or be photogenic everywhere else except your selfies?
Photogenic everywhere else. I don't take pictures of myself.
Agreed.
Exactly.
Not only that, but you can always have somebody else take a fucking picture of you and you would look fucking fantastic. So
also, nobody understands what a selfie is anymore. Let's take a selfie in a group. That's not a fucking selfie.
It's a groupie.
I don't really like taking pictures, so I don't know which one.
You can't tell that at all based on your picture from Twitter where you like look like you're pissed off at the world because you're not smiling.
If you take a dick pic, is it a selfie?
I guess.
Oh wait, there was a something I saw in there that made it like it was like some sort of fancy way of saying a dick pic, like a I'm trying to remember the fucking name it was, like a
penis picture.
No, it was something like that, but it was more fancy. It's gonna piss me off. It was like
A terroristic.
yeah, that was it. Okay. Would you rather have Danny?
Sorry.
Would you rather have Danny DeVito or Danny Trejo play you in a movie?
Danny DeVito,
fuck is
hands
Trejo?
down.
Danny Trejo, hands fucking down.
No,
Who the
DeVito.
fuck is Danny? Hold on. I'm out. Hand raised. Who the fuck is Danny Trio?
He's
Oh,
some
no.
Mexican guy.
Who?
Machete.
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 Fucking Danny DeVito, hands down. Like he's got the belly like I do. We're good.
Oh, he's perfect.
My
in
belly's
Always
not
Sunny.
that big, but
He's also like a weird midget troll.
it's true.
I would kind of go with Danny DeVito because it's so polar opposite of what I am, and just to see that, like, yeah, I'd probably go DeVito, to be honest
He's
with
got
you.
more range. Let's be real.
Listen, I was fucking watching it.
See, JP and I are on the
I
same page.
want Trejo because he runs his own taco truck. Tacos for life, right here.
Oh man, can I change my order?
Oh,
Nope. Order.
Rayshon, what about you?
Danny DeVito.
Dictionary basement.
What'd you say, Rayshon?
DeVito.
Yeah, there we go. DeVito for sure.
DeVito
It's
for
Always
life.
Sunny in Philadelphia yesterday, and fucking Danny DeVito. So
He's the
fucking funny
best,
in it.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Would you rather walk in on your parents
Oh.
or have them walk in on you?
Walking
I'm
on
walking
me.
on me.
Walking on me. Watch me. Witness me.
Yeah, break eye contact.
What the fuck? I can just see Basement with his arms spread. Witness me.
did you see that fucking movie?
Oh,
What was it called? Mad Max? The new Mad Max
I'd rather
movie?
walk in on my parents.
No,
What was that,
man.
Rayshon?
Because I said I would rather walk in on my parents because if it happened to me, like if it was the other way around, they should be okay with it.
What wouldn't
Right,
that
so
be
why would
what you want? Why do you want it to be weird?
No, no. You can't
Why do you
think
want
about
it to be
Hey,
weird?
look, think about
Why
it.
do you be traumatized, though?
Think about it. Okay, look, they
No.
walking on you. They don't know
Yeah.
that you having sex in the house.
Oh, they're gonna
So
find
now, after you
What if
finish,
they're at your house visiting?
come on, man. That's not the scenario.
I don't know what the
Yeah.
scenario is,
But
but this
the
seems like the worst
question is-
option.
Anything you want.
Would you rather walk in on your parents or have them walk in on you?
They have the keys to your house.
What-
Like I said,
What?
if you're visiting.
Forget about who has whose keys.
Oh my god.
It doesn't matter.
You would rather have your parents. You would rather be scarred for life by watching, walking in on your parents
Yeah.
having sex, versus them be scarred for life walking in on you. Like I'm sorry, I love my mom and my
scarred for
dad,
life,
but you guys
regardless.
can be
You had
fucking scarred
me.
for life.
Watch Mad Max, and then you'll understand what I said.
Y'all can be scarred for life because I don't want it myself. So there you go.
Witness me! Spray can in the
I don't
face.
think I'll be scarred for life. No.
Terroristic. Anyway,
What? What are you making up words for?
Those are terrorist thoughts trying, say, walking on your parents.
Was that just recently invented, or?
oh my God, would you rather have people spread a terrible lie about you or have people spread terrible but true tales about you? What the fuck is
That's
this?
exactly why I said what I said.
Terrible
Aaron.
true tales, because then I could be like, yeah, it's true.
I agree with that.
I've already had terrible lies spread about me, and almost all of you on this call know the lies that were spread.
Yeah.
Wait,
It's the
I'm sorry.
thing.
What was the question?
Would you rather have people spread a terrible lie about you or people spread terrible but true tales about you?
I mean, the
I
tales that are
feel-
true, I'll own up to, whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
well, and here's the thing. I feel like it is a lot harder to squash a lie than it would be to admit the truth.
Not necessarily. With the lie, you don't have to entertain it.
The truth, I'm just gonna
Right,
accept
but
it.
then
It's
people
true.
are still gonna think they're gonna accept that it's fucking true. If
Okay,
you
never
they
done
have
anything,
every
like,
right to accept
terrible.
it, but if you don't acknowledge it, if you don't like play, the
you're
victim
not
of it,
from a
then
small town, Rayshon.
I've never done anything so terrible that I'd be like,
Exactly,
don't tell that truth.
I mean, we've.
I mean, they've
heard
been like, yeah,
Right.
I've told you guys
Yeah.
this shit I've done is terrible, but it's true.
Exactly.
What?
This one time in Mexico.
I think every one of those terrible stories
Lock
starts
your
off with
toilet
that
in a
phrase.
boat.
One time in Cuba. Hustled by a hooker.
There's been a lot of times in various places.
With
right,
a lot of hookers.
The hookers came to the forest.
Now I understand. Listen, I now understand Basement's whole fear of like people coming out of the forest naked.
Those twig plots.
They weren't naked, but they were a pregnant hooker. Like what?
The acoustic guitar is the part that I'm still trying to figure in there, like with the naked person in the woods with the acoustic
They're
guitar.
not
Like
naked.
fear of
They're
that.
just coming out of the fucking forest playing Dave Matthews Band. What the fuck are you?
Would you rather go back to the past and meet your loved ones who passed away, or go
No.
to the future to meet your children or grandchildren to be?
What if you don't have any children and you don't have any loved ones of the past?
I would love to talk to my grandfather more.
I would
What the
love-
fuck, Basement?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the past because, like, I would love to talk to my grandpa, and not only that, but I have a lot of friends that I lost that I would love to be able to talk to.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one for me. I would lean a little bit more towards the future.
Yeah,
Because there's a part of me that is very curious on how the future plays out, and not in a worrisome way, but just in general. Like
Technologically, you mean, or
in general, I'd be very well. I mean, society and yeah, technologically too, but just in general, I'd be very curious to see how the future would go.
I think
And
Right, but
generations,
would you actually travel to the future to meet these people, or would it like the
It's a
future
glimpse,
people just
I think.
appear to you in the present
I
time?
think it's a
It sounds like it
glimpse.
implies in travel. This is go back to the past to meet your loved ones, or go to the future.
How long do you have?
Now I'm getting a time traveling headache.
Am I there for a year or am I there for 10 seconds?
I'm getting a time
These things
travel
matter.
headache.
Okay.
And you pause while you
I mean, is it
Can you rewind?
Is this cumulative?
And it all comes full circle.
Oh
my God.
How many
Gobble
hookers?
at the same time?
as many hookers as there are orange goblins?
Is everybody
There's your
green in the future?
Oh my god.
Basement. Well, I'll show you afterwards. Would you rather? Let's see. I gotta find a good one. We'll do one last one. Would you rather?
Kanye West is killing me on the fucking screen right now.
Oh yeah, let me
Would
get
you
rid of it.
rather? What?
Oh,
Oh, Kanye West.
Kanye,
Would you rather?
fucking big smile. I'm sorry.
Would you rather be beautiful and stupid, or unattractive but a genius?
Attractive but a genius.
But a genius.
yeah.
Basement.
Yeah, I'd probably be hideous but smart.
Yeah.
Unattractiveness you can fix with makeup, but you can't fix stupid.
Like for me,
Exactly.
that's
Well,
not
I
even
mean,
a
you could
fucking
go
question.
to
Like immediately, it's like unattractive but genius. Like because when you're a genius, you can fucking make so much money by inventing something.
Hey,
or
when you're
fucking being a doctor.
attractive, you can make a lot of money by being
Not
attractive.
necessarily. Not necessarily.
Well,
There's a fucking shit ton of attractive people in the world that don't make shit.
name me ugly genius models.
Shit that's coming out of your mouth tonight, Basement, is
I got
fucking
one. I got one.
astounding.
Tyra Banks?
No, she's attractive. What are you talking about?
Is she?
Her or her forehead? Which one?
Like she used to be attractive.
Well, I mean, how old is she now? Come on.
Old, not old enough.
Also, she I actually admire her though because like she also
You
got
called
to
her
the point.
You just
ugly
called-
genius.
Exactly.
But here's the thing, she was beautiful, but
What the fuck?
she got to the point where she finally just said, I don't give a fuck what anybody thinks about me, and just started eating whatever the fuck she wanted to.
She's
No,
48 years old now, Basement.
Yeah, who gives a fuck at this point in time? She made her money being.
But I mean, she was still on TV, and you know, she's known for her supermodel, and she's still a supermodel, believe it or not. She still does modeling stuff. I admire her because like usually when you have that supermodel life, you're kind of like stuck in this constant like state of like diet and like you have to worry about your looks, but she didn't. She was like, fuck this. Like I'm gonna be myself. I'm gonna be happy. And I admire that.
What about the truth? I'm neither of these options.
What if I'm ugly and stupid? Aha.
Yeah.
The best of both worlds.
It's gonna
Like
get. It's gonna
asking,
get
would you
too.
rather be poor and dumb? No, poor and smart and rich, or rich and dumb.
I feel like I just pulled a 2 and 7 on poker life.
Well, on that note, we should probably wrap up then
Off-suited.
if we're all exhausted. So we want to thank everybody for tuning in here to No Bucks Given episode 11. Make sure you guys, if you haven't subscribed already, we've been climbing up those subscriptions lately over on YouTube, youtube.com/Horny Goat. And of course, you can also check us out on your favorite podcasting platforms. We'll be back at you at the very latest this coming Monday as we continue the Marvel Roundtable into Marvel's Phase 2 with Thor: The Dark World. And who knows, we might sprinkle some 2K22 gameplay in between if the game doesn't fucking crash on us again. So thank you all for tuning in. Thank you to JP, Heather, Gina, Rayshawn, Basement for joining us this evening. Thank you for checking us out. Take care, and as always, stay sexy, bitches.
Green lives matter.